WWAZ Channel 19 proudly presents high school baseball. Today's game features Owensboro Catholic versus the Reitz Panthers.
We are at Bosse Field in Evansville for the first of quite a few high school baseball games here during the spring of '98. I'm Darren Smith alongside Pete Hillenbrand. Tonight we've got Indiana versus Kentucky, Evansville Reitz, and Owensboro Catholic.
Well, the Ohio River is pretty big between Indiana and Kentucky, but it can't keep these two teams apart, Darren, and these guys are both fighting at the bit to get a hold of each other. We should have a big dog fight going today.
These teams have struggled to get games in this year. Both teams have a combined 10 rainouts. Reitz had the upper hand earlier today. They've already played. They beat Memorial, a very good Memorial team this morning. Reitz comes into this game at 5-3.
Well, in a marathon game it was. It went over 3 hours this morning. A lot of things happened in that game. A lot of pitches thrown. The good, the bad, and the ugly this morning for the Panthers. So I'm sure they got out of that with a win, but they have some play that they'd like to avenge tonight. Coach Johnston feels happy that they can do it.
Owensboro Catholic coming off a great win last night over the Stars of Muhlenberg North. They won the game in the bottom of the 7th inning. Right now they're at 500 at 5-5.
One big warning for Catholic. The last time they came off of a big win was against Owensboro Senior. The very next day they were blown out in an ugly game that they would like to erase if they could. So hopefully they've learned something from that. The big win over Muhlenberg North last night, now a big one with the Panthers today.
Talent is well spread out here tonight. Leaders on the team, we begin with Owensboro Catholic again at 5-5. What a great year it's been for the senior, Brian Vallata.
Vallata can do it. He's got an incredible batting average, near 500 coming in, and when he gets on base, he has a lot of speed. The big word for Catholic is probably speed, and when you have team speed, you can do a lot with it. I think we're in for a treat for some wide-open baseball from them today.
Reitz lost quite a few from last year's basically about 500 team. They're being led by a couple of seniors this year. One of those is Ryan Fetcher when not on the hill. He's either at the corners, third or first base. He'll be at first base to start tonight.
Senior leadership at one of the corners, and they have seniors in the middle. Defense has been a key for Reitz, and part of the big reason that they're 5-3. Another big reason is pitching. A big question mark coming in. A lot of youngsters on the mound for the Panthers and Coach Johnston. They've been coming through, and we'll get a look at one of those tonight. Kyle Ritter getting his first start here, not tonight, but this afternoon.
And Jeremy Coombs on the hill for the Owensboro Catholic Aces. This was a pitcher's duel last year. It was 2-1 in favor of Evansville Reitz. It is high school baseball Saturday night in Evansville from Bosse Field. We'll have the first pitch when we come back.
Ball 4 Cards of Indiana has the largest selection and the lowest prices on the newest top brand name sports cards in the area. But Ball 4 Cards is more than just a sports card shop. Ball 4 Cards of Indiana, across from Elder Behrman. We're more than just a sports card shop.
Looking for the perfect gift for Mom? The family birthstone ring is one of the most personalized gifts you can give. Each style of ring is set with one birthstone to represent each child or grandchild and is custom made to your family's very own specifications. Come in and choose from dozens of striking styles, 14 or 10 karat, glittering yellow or white gold, stunning genuine or synthetic stones. A family birthstone ring is a sentimental memento that your family will treasure forever.
Brocken Jewelers, 2013 West Franklin.
Legendary Bosse Field here on a Saturday night. I'm Darren Smith alongside Pete Hillenbrand. Owensboro Catholic and Evansville Reitz tonight, Pete.
Should be a good one, Darren. These teams appear to be pretty evenly matched. They're getting their first look at each other for this season. It's a home and away series. They played last year on the other side of the river, and well, depending on your perspective, the other side. They played in Owensboro last year, and the Panthers escaped with a one-run victory. And the Aces looking to avenge that here this evening in Evansville, Bosse Field. And both coaches, the coaching staff really talk like they enjoy coming over to play teams outside of their district and outside of their city, and getting a look at teams that they're not familiar with and competing in a ball game like that. So they're looking forward to getting this one started. They have one down the road hosting South Spencer, so they'll get a look at the Rebels later this season. But right now, it's the Aces and the Panthers as we're about set.
And Nick Williams is going to start off our baseball coverage here in the spring of '98. He is the second baseman. He'll be followed tonight by Ricky Villada, the left fielder. Nick McCrary is in the DH role tonight for the Aces. Brandon East is the center fielder. Ben Scholl, a late replacement for Jesse Rhodes, now over at first base, and he will bat fifth. Brian Villada, there's a brother connection there. Chad Dickens, Seth Lawson, and Jacob Reed is down the Owensboro Catholic Aces nine. That is Kyle Ritter on the hill for the Panthers tonight. They are 5-3. His first is in there, strike one.
Nice shot right over the inside corner of the plate for Nick Williams' first look at Kyle Ritter, and the Panthers' first look at him as well as a starter. He's 3 saves so far this season in his appearances, but making his debut as a starter.
One that gets behind the catcher tonight, completing the battery, Sam Schmitz for the departed Andy Cook from a season ago. Ryan Fetcher over at first, J.T. Bagby over at second, Adam Baylor's the shortstop, Austin Maxheimer this year over at third, left to right, Helfrich, Phillips, and John Harp. And the count 2-1 here. Kyle Ritter to Nick Williams.
Sweeping curveball missed outside by Ritter. Ritter sets up his fastball with a lot of off-speed stuff. He doesn't bring the ball to the plate with a lot of speed, but his fastball is deceivingly quick because he throws so much off-speed stuff.
Chopper down to third. That's Austin Maxheimer. Nice arm from third, but not in time. Nice stretch by Fetcher. And so the last couple of bats for Nick Williams, which dates back to last night, is okay. He had the game-winning hit over Muhlenberg North last night.
That's a big one, and that was a big win for these guys. And now when you fear a letdown, it's a great way to start a game by legging out an infield base hit, and a great defensive play by Maxheimer that time. Just did not get the call.
Ricky Villada trying to move up there. Nick Williams is one of 3 sets of brothers here with Owensboro Catholic. You got the Villadas, you got the Coombs, you got the Rhodes, and this brother combination, the Villadas, do it very well in quite a few sports, including football, and the state finalists last year from Mojo Hollowell. So Nick Williams aboard. Villada here, the left fielder, right now at a deceiving 172. Had a great junior campaign. He draws a team best 8 walks. And our first check back over at first to Nick Williams.
Well, they're going to be working on these aces on the base paths a lot. Owensboro Catholic puts a lot of pressure on the pitchers and catchers with their base running ability.
0-1, and may have him caught, and do between first and second, and down will go Nick Williams. Sometimes if you lean the wrong way, and it's still basically, you know, I say basically pretty early in the season. They're not quite near the halfway point of their season here in late April, Pete.
Well, that base running mistakes is a sign of an aggressive team, and both of, Coach Neil Corley and his assistant Jeff Arnold spoke with us before the game. He said, hey, we do make some base running mistakes, but we accept those. We don't really get on a kid for making a base running error because they run the bases very aggressively. That one a little bit of a mistake, as Williams just got a little bit caught too far off of first base, and the Panthers capitalized that time. So Reitz looking to have that kind of strategic luck throughout the ball game against these Aces base runners.
1 ball and 2 strikes here to Villada. And the twin brother Brian, football player, cornerbacks with the Villadas. And they like Villada to get on the bases. He leads the team with 10 stolen bases. The team already has 36. That's right up the middle for Villada. He'll take the long turn and a 1-out single. So both actually get aboard here for Owensboro Catholic in the top half of the first inning.
Just well hit right back at the box, and Villada drove it up the middle. And they were missing a base runner that time, but now they've got it back. Ricky Villada on base for the designated hitter, Nick McCrary.
Yeah, DH roll tonight, McCrary. The junior hitting .333, 7 hits so far on what is still the young season. Has 2 doubles this year, a couple of stolen bases. McCrary, the DH, as they check back over to first, leads this team with 13 runs batted in. It's an Owensboro Catholic team that has not been shy in scoring runs, but either of the Panthers, they already have 14 today when they beat Memorial 14-9 easily. Down to second is Ricky Villado in the first in scoring position for the Aces tonight.
He got a good jump on Ritter that time, and the pitch was inside. And Schmitz just unable to get a glove on it and catch it cleanly to have a shot at Villada.
1-0 is another chopper. Busy is Austin Maxheimer here at third. That time it sneaks by, and the Aces have runners at the corners. Well, hesitant turn over at first by Nick McCrary, but 3 so far for 3. Owensboro Catholic and trying to make some noise here at Bosse Field in the top half of the first inning. Here come the Aces.
And the hit goes up on the board. I'm glad to see that. That was a very, very difficult play for the third baseman, Austin Maxheimer, and McCrary credited with the hit on that one. Maxheimer nearly made a beautiful defensive play to follow up his first of the ball game that Williams just legged out for a base hit, but Maxheimer just about made that one work.
Brandon East, not only one of the top baseball players, this is one of the top athletes at Owensboro Catholic this year, in the past couple of years. Nearly a 4.0 student, great three-sport athlete. This one takes a ride to left field. That's Helfrich in left. Runner's gonna try to tag, and the first is in. Trouble is on this side, our far side over at first, and all the way back and almost got a piece of it.
Well, that was McCrary over there, and I didn't have my eye on him. Apparently he missed the tag up and had to go all the way back. Fortunately for him, nobody was covering. He was able to make it back safely. Brandon East, really the lone big hitter on the team, strength-wise. I thought had given that ball a ride. Helfrich got turned around a little bit, but recovered in time to make the catch. And a sacrifice fly and an RBI goes to Brandon East.
Roomy Bosse Field. Straightaway center is 415 at this old ballpark. 375 down the lines. Hit and run was on, and that's into right field. Harp has to come in and get it on his way to third. Will move McCrary once again. Owensboro Catholic has runners at the corners, and they already lead by a score of 1-0.
Well, McCrary now on down to third with speed. And you know, you talk about the opportunity to tag up on that last play. You really don't know if they would have tagged and sent him on Nick Helfrich out there. So nonetheless, they get him around to third base right now. And runners at the corners, speed at the corners, and Villada, the other half of the brothers, comes up to the plate.
Yeah, and that was Ben Scholl, by the way. He's drawn 7 walks this year. That's his 3rd single this season to go along with a double. So Scholl getting the job done. And right now, Kyle Ritter trying to get into a zone here as they've hit him pretty good here on the outset. Brian Villada is your team's leading hitters. We talked about 462. 11 hits, includes a double this year. He also has 5 runs batted in. That's down low. Runner's going to hold here at the corners.
Well, we'll see what they do with 2 outs and the runners at the corners. A good opportunity for a coach to manufacture a run. You don't have a batter to sacrifice. You have to get him on the bases. No outs to give, but some opportunities here.
1 ball, 1 strike here to Brian Villada. Already again 1-0. Owensboro Catholic wanted that one. It's just going to miss, though, on the outside. This count is 2-1 to Brian Villada. Chad Dickens, Seth Lawson, Jacob Reed down the Owensboro Catholic 9 here in the top half of the first inning.
Ritter really put the brakes on the last pitch.
Trying to sneak that up the middle. Over comes J.T. Bagby, the force down at second base. And that'll take care of Owensboro Catholic here in the top half of the first inning. Put 1 on the board. They'll leave 1 1/2 in at Bosse Field on a Saturday night. Good high school baseball. Owensboro Catholic and Evansville Reitz right here on WWAZ Channel 19.
Into Tuesday night.
Hysterical Tuesday.
It's a comedy of epic proportions.
Oh, I don't doubt that.
Don't miss Malcolm and Eddie in Good News on Tuesdays right after Moesha and Clueless.
Oh, it's going to be so wonderful. Is it?
Tuesday at 8 on WWAZ Channel 19.
Just one.
Will the future rock or will there be no sound? A world without music. Not while Oscar's around.
Monday at 6:30 on WWAZ Channel 19.
Every tri-state mailroom.
On an all-new Unhappily, Tiffany's celebrating
Happy birthday!
her 20th birthday. drop dead.
Then you're the one. It's one thing to forget an anniversary.
It's the anniversary of the first time we...
For a minute, I thought I missed something really important.
It's another thing to have your parents celebrating for you.
Underwear?
With your gifts.
It's made out of candy.
You're the one, right after Unhappily.
Sunday at 8 on WWAZ Channel 19.
Bossy Field here on a Saturday night. I'm Darren Smith alongside Pete Hillenbrand. 4 hits in the top half of the first for Owensboro Catholic. One comes across, and it's 1-0 Aces. Pete?
Well, they survived. The Panther defense survived, Darren. They allow 4 hits in that inning. And Owensboro Catholic only able to plate 1 runner. And the players were reminded of that fact by head coach Neil Corley in between innings. He set them down in the dugout and said, look, we have to pay attention to things on the bases. We've got to make our runs count every inning. And he's definitely disappointed with the run production in that inning. Just 1 on 4 hits, and they stranded 2, 1 down at third base near the plate. So now we'll get a look at Jeremy Coombs pitching tonight for Owensboro Catholic, and the Panthers getting their first look at him as they get set for their half on offense.
Coombs and Dickens, the battery tonight for Owensboro Catholic. Ben Scholl over at first base. Nick Williams, the departed Mitchell Sims, one of the top players they lost from last season, over at second base. Shortstop is Jacob Reed. Seth Lawson, the third baseman tonight for Owensboro Catholic. Ricky Villada, Brandon East, Brian Villada, that's left to right. J.T. Bagby. Going to start things off here for the Panthers. Already big winners today as they scored 14 runs, gave up 9, but still beat the Memorial Tigers this morning here.
We'll see how they react to that. That is a huge win in a couple of respects. It's always big when you beat the Tigers, but Reitz had a big lead and saw it dwindle in a 7-run Memorial 6th inning, and they were able to come back and score a couple more to go ahead and put the lid on that game. So that was impressive, and we'll see how they react facing a tough Owensboro Catholic today.
Reitz had a 7-run inning of their own earlier today, and J.T. Bagby taking this one to center field. That is Brandon East, who backs up and has the first away. Bagby 1 for 5 in that Memorial game today. He came into tonight's game batting .166.
I think that ball carried a little bit better than East might have anticipated. He went back easy on it and just kept going and kept going, but he had a jump on it, and he got back of it in time and fielded it cleanly. A ball well hit by J.T. Bagby.
Nick Helfrich, the sophomore, late sub in for Steve Johnston in the nightcap here for Reitz. Helfrich, the sophomore, 1 for 2 in the Memorial game. Also drew 2 walks this morning. Came into today, he had 153, and that's at RBIs. Behind the count, 0-1, Nick Helfrich. That one has the corner. Coombs, good stuff early. Fetcher bats out of the 3-hole tonight. Aaron Velker, the DH. Adam Baylor, Chad Phillips, Austin Maxheimer, Sam Schmitz, and John Harp is your Reitz Panther 9 tonight.
Boy, Coombs is wasting no time in punching in here at the office this afternoon. He's thrown nothing but strikes in the 4 pitches that he's delivered.
This team has got some great pitching, Pete, as you and I visited with both coaches earlier this afternoon. Neil Corley and Jeff Arnold speak very highly of their pitching staff, and they've got some youngsters on the staff who basically lead the way as far as strikeouts and ERA here, as they did last year.
Well, they get their hands on them early. They've had a couple of aces as 8th graders. I think one going this year, and so they really have been working well with their pitching staff, and that is Neil Corley's job. He's the head coach and the pitching coach with this team, and it was fun to talk with those guys earlier. They've last year's head coach Jeff Arnold was assisted by Neil Corley, and those guys have been playing baseball together since 7 years old. Yeah. Little League, Babe Ruth League, and high school. A lot of history there and a lot of good chemistry. Those guys enjoy what they're doing, and that breeds itself as the team seems to be having a good time playing for them as well.
Ryan Fetcher, you're the batter for the Panthers. Velker again to follow. It's 2-0 here to Fetch. Third Fetcher here to play for Reitz. Mike the older. Chad in between Mike and Ryan Fetcher. That one takes a long ride but foul. Now Ryan was 2 of 5 today in the Memorial game. He's now 5 for 22. on this season. As a pitcher last year, he had 39 strikeouts in 67 innings pitched, and he is the ace of the staff again this year for the Reitz Panthers.
Well, he saw what he wanted that time from Jeremy Coombs, and he just got a little bit too anxious. He hit that ball a long way, just out to the parking lot, just to the left of the light standard out there. But nothing would have kept that one in the park had it stayed fair. And he's just way out in front of Jeremy Coombs, and he'll just have to tune in to the speed of Coombs. And Coombs, I'm sure, will continue to play off of that, keep that advantage.
2 balls and 2 strikes to Ryan Fetcher. 1-0 Owensboro Catholic in the bottom half of the first inning, Saturday late night. Our first look at high school baseball this spring. We'll take a look at Evansville Memorial and Owensboro Apollo coming up on May the 4th. This will stay in the infield. Calling all off is Nick Williams over at second base. It is 3 up, 3 down. Nice bit of work by Jeremy Coombs. We have 1 in the books, and the Aces of Owensboro Catholic take it 1-0 to the top half of the second. On a Saturday night, Bosse Field, high school baseball on Channel 19.
Cheap. But this shrewd inliner saved a lot of money at Play It Again Sports by trading in used sports equipment for a complete set of inline gear. Of course, there are other places to buy inline skates, but at full price, it may be hard to afford everything you need. Play It Again Sports.
On an all-new Unhappily, Tiffany's celebrating 20th birthday.
Drop dead.
Then you're the one. It's one thing to forget an anniversary.
It's the anniversary of the first time we...
For a minute, I thought I missed something really important.
It's another thing to have your parents celebrating for you.
Underwear?
With your gifts.
It's made out of candy.
You're the one, right after Unhappily.
Sunday at 8 on WWAZ Channel 19.
Welcome back to Bosse Field here on a Saturday night. I'm Darren Smith alongside Pete Hillenbrand. Owensboro Catholic and Evansville Reitz. It's the Aces of Owensboro Catholic up 1-0 here in the top half of the second inning. Pete?
Well, they're looking to get some more base runners on and work with them a little bit better this time around, but they'll getting close to making it around the order and getting second looks at Kyle Ritter. But to start the second here, Chad Dickens will get his first look at the off-speed right-hander.
7, 8, 9 here for Catholic. Dickens, Lawson, and Reed facing 6 batters back in the first. Kyle Ritter again 1 scores, 4 hits off of Ritter back in an inning he'd like to forget here early. Runs have been aplenty here though on this day. This is the 3rd game being played at Bosse Field. The first one 14-9 in favor of Reitz. Actually, the second wasn't too bad. 4-2. Castle beat the Memorial Tigers today. Not a good day for Memorial. And here is the true nightcap. 1-0 here to Chad Dickens.
Boy, an uncharacteristic day for the Memorial Tigers off of a big win last night over 3rd-ranked Central. And really, the city race has been mixed up now in the weekend. Mater Dei beating Harrison last night. Reitz beating Memorial today. Memorial beating Central last night. So a lot of interesting things happening. And now Owensboro Catholic in town.
Look at over in Owensboro. You've got 3 powerhouses there. Catholic, certainly legit. They beat Owensboro Senior. Apollo just has 1 setback so far in this season. 15-1 at last check for Bob Mantooth.
Yeah,
3 balls and a strike here to Chad Dickens.
A lot of things happening. Baseball is, that's why I love this game.
Foul that one off, and for the first time, Kyle Ritter will have the batter in the count full. Chad Dickens, of course, quarterback for Mojo Hollowell, will play at Kentucky Wesleyan next year. And that's a team that had a pretty good football season last year with Coach Johnson.
They have really come along at Wesleyan.
3-1 by Ritter. We're going to take that one maybe right back to Ritter. His easiest one so far of the early evening, and there's 1 away. Right back to Ritter, score that one 1-3. And there's 1 down here in the top half of the second.
Boy, and he just had Dickens by about a step and a half on a ground ball back to the box. So Chad Dickens not being left out when they talk about the speed in the lineup. of Owensboro Catholic.
Is Seth Lawson. He is a sophomore, batting .273. He's looking for his first extra base hit on the year. He has 3 stolen bases. He has an RBI also on the season. Good young ball club. There's some nice senior leadership here as well, but a lot of nice-looking sophomores. And you mentioned 8th graders in Kentucky. If you're an 8th grader and you're good enough, you indeed can play for the varsity team. First 2 go Ritter's way, and it's 0-2 here to Seth Lawson. This year's 8th grader is Derek Rhodes. His brother played for this team as an 8th grader. But in Kentucky, if you're an 8th grader, you can play for the varsity squad. That's in any sport. This is upstairs. And that is Chad Phillips. All his, 2 away.
And if you're really good, you can play as a 5th grader. You don't believe me? Ask Carson Jones. We just spoke with the Nebo Flash earlier. He's out here watching some ball games. I didn't realize he's retired from taking care of his softball diamonds as well in the city. And this year's Tri-State Tourney was his last. I asked him what he would do with all of his time, and he said, this is it. Yeah, I'm going to watch baseball, football, basketball, and he's just enjoying things.
Austin Maxheimer, much better for Kyle Ritter and company. 3 up, 3 down. We've seen the 9, by the way, for Owensboro Catholic. 1 1/2 in. Catholic leads Reitz 1-0. We move to the bottom half of the 2nd inning. High school baseball Saturday night from Evansville's Bosse Field, right here on Channel 19.
Are you looking for a quality pre-owned vehicle at a fair price? Fairway Auto Sales has a wide selection of clean, late-model vehicles for every taste. From pre-owned family cars to sport utility vehicles, trucks, and sport cars, Fairway Auto Sales has what you're looking for at a fair price. At Fairway Auto Sales, you can purchase any vehicle for as little as $400 down. Bank rate and on-lot financing is available. For a fair deal on a quality pre-owned vehicle, come to Fairway Auto Sales, located at the corner of Columbia and Fairs Avenue. Whether it's cruising home turf or riding vacation surf, America runs on batteries. That's why America runs to Batteries Plus, the store with thousands of batteries for thousands of items. At Batteries Plus, you can power any performance with the widest selection of quality, fully warranty batteries at great prices. Our battery specialists will even test your old battery and install a new one for free with no appointment needed. Get a sure start on summer at Batteries Plus, America's battery stores.
Well, Ryan Fetcher, the last Panther batter in the 1st inning, popped up to the 2nd baseman Nick Williams, and Williams actually battled the sun on that one, Darren, and that is definitely something that we did not expect to see. In fact, this morning when it was time to head out to the ballpark, I didn't imagine we would still be here at this point, and we have even seen the sunshine. It's ducked behind a cloud a little bit right now, but baseball all day long at Bosse Field, and what a surprise. And boy, some 5 hours of baseball for these Reitz Panthers. They played over 3 hours this morning with Memorial. This game, I'm sure, will go over 2 hours. 5 hours of baseball for the Panthers, and when I talked to them before this game, the players said, yep, and we like it.
Aaron Felker's the sophomore. Came into the day .500, but he was 0 for 4 in the Memorial game today. He did draw a walk. Has 2 doubles on the year. He leads the team in RBIs with 5 coming into still the early season for the Panthers. He's looking at 1 ball and 1 strike. Belker, Baylor, Phillips, and then Maxheimer, Schmitz, and Harp is down the Reitz Panther 9 tonight.
I think that was a little trash talk there by Chad Dickens that time as Coombs threw the breaking pitch outside and into the dirt. And Dickens threw it right back to Coombs, the one-hopper to it.
1-2 now from Jeremy Coombs. Yeah, just the 3 batters faced back in the 1st. Has the early strikeout. Got Bagby and Fetcher to pop up. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Coombs to Aaron Felker, enjoying so far a pretty good sophomore year. It's game number 9 on the season for the Panthers. That's down low. It's 2 balls and 2 strikes. Told you right at the top of the night that both these teams have a combined 10 rainouts. That's a lot when you just started playing a couple of weeks ago, basically.
Well, and before last night's Muhlenberg North game for Owensboro Catholic, they had nearly 2 weeks off because of the rainouts.
That's going to sneak in right past third baseman Seth Lawson, and the turnover at first for Velker. And that's the first to get by Coombs in the first 4 anyway. Panthers have their first aboard here. Nobody down in the bottom half of the 2nd inning.
Lawson just about had a chance. It took a nice high hop for him, and that gave him really the only opportunity that he had, but he was diving to his right towards the line. Had he even come up with that ball, I don't think he could have made the play. Base hit all the way, and just a well-hit ball for the first Panther hit coming from the bat of Aaron Velker.
Here's a senior, Adam Baylor, looking for his first today. He was 0 for 3 in the Memorial game. He also drew a couple of walks, came into the day batting 153. 255 last year. He was 18 for 68, Adam Baylor. Included 6 extra base hits, 4 doubles, and 2 of the team's 12 triples from a season ago.
The biggest contrast, I think, Darren, in today's game is probably the issue of team speed. The Panthers, Coach Johnson told me, they're not blessed with speed this year, but he still plays baseball the way it ought to be played. He likes to mix it up, and he still likes to hit and run, and we're looking at a bunt possibility from Adam Baylor as he fouled the first one off. But they still play fundamentally sound baseball. They like to mix it up, and they play around the lack of speed and make it work for them.
0-1 here at the Baylor. Yeah, you've got speed in Velker. He's up by about 4 over at first. This one moving over in foul grounds. Ben Scholl is there. The catcher going to call him all off, and I was going to give way to Ben Scholl. I talk about roomy, bossy field, and again, quite a few of the fields the teams in Western Kentucky play in are roomy. Maybe not quite this roomy, though, Pete. And I've even seen the city schools here in Evansville have problems with roomy, bossy field.
There is a lot of room in front of the dugouts and down the lines. And it looks like Dickens might have had a little trouble in finding that ball against the clouds, and actually looked like he called it because he didn't think anybody else did at the point. And then he and Scholl in their communications, something happened. Dickens gave up on it the last second. Nobody there to support him. And now the Baylor looking bunt again with 2 strikes.
Don't think we'll see. I think he's just bluffing.
I wouldn't expect to.
0-2 here to Baylor. Again, Chad Phillips is on deck. Small lead again over at first for Aaron Velker. It's 1-0 Owensboro Catholic. We're in the bottom half of the second. High school baseball goes 7 innings at least. Foul grounds again. Seth Lawson just going to probably watch this one go out of play. That's going to be on the roof. We'll keep the count at no balls and 2 strikes. Reitz is the team coming into their 9th game of the season right now, is batting in the neighborhood of 250. They batted 293 last year. They have 9 doubles on this early season, looking for their first triple home run on the year, and they've stolen 12 bases. Owensboro Catholic, 73 hits, is a 286. This is their 11th game of the year. They have 16 doubles, 3 triples, 5 homers already. And they like to move on the base pads. They have 36 stolen bases in their first 10 games so far.
11 of those came in the Owensboro senior game. 11 stolen bases in 1 game. One stat that we might see change today for the Panthers, they have outstolen their opponents 15-13. Coach Johnston surprised at that when he was telling me about the speed issue. He said, hey, we have outstolen our opponents. They picked up a few more this afternoon to run their total to 15. But we would expect to see a lot of running from the guys in the green today.
1 ball and 2 strikes. It remains long at bat here for Adam Baylor. Big part of last year's team. So you basically 500. They lost, Reitz did, in the championship game of the sectional that was played over in Mount Vernon, Indiana, to the Central Bears.
That's one sectional that I'm going to miss with the class baseball. I really enjoyed that Mount Vernon sectional. Reitz and Central and Mater Dei, Mount Vernon, North Posey, New Harmony, I believe, got in there the last couple of years. That was always a wide open one.
Got him. First looking, second strikeout for Jeremy Coombs. And that's the first out here in the bottom half of the second. So 1 down, 1 aboard. Get our first offensive look tonight at Chad Phillips.
Phillips looking to move the base runner, Aaron Velker, down at first base. One thing goes back to the speed issue. Coach Johnston said a lot of times to move a runner around into scoring position, we have to go ahead and sacrifice that out rather than being able to put a hit and run on or a straight stolen base. And he'll have to go ahead and sacrifice him over. Now with 1 out and the man just at first, we're going to be looking for a swinging Chad Phillips at the plate right now.
Chad Phillips is 1 for 5 this year. He has an RBI. He appeared in 21 games for the Panthers in '97. He was 2 for 10 right here at the plate. That's a bit high and a bit inside. And the count is 2-0 from Jeremy Coombs.
Up and in the eyes of Phillips, sometimes a tough pitch to lay off. You always see hitters having trouble holding back on the high pitches. Gets up in the eyes, and it just looks sweet for a second.
2-0. This could be a double play ball. That is Reed to Williams covering at first. Ben Scholl, and you score it 6-4-3. Our first double play turned on this day belongs to Owensboro Catholic, and the Aces take a 1-0 lead to the top half of the third inning. Saturday night at Bosse Field, Owensboro Catholic in Evansville Reitz on WWAZ, Channel 19.
Welcome to Batteries Plus. How may we help you?
Do you really have thousands of batteries for thousands of items?
Yes, sir.
How about watches?
Yes, sir.
Cameras? Camcorders?
Yes, sir.
Laptops and computers?
Yes, sir.
Portable stereos? Cellular phones?
Yes, sir.
I know you've got car batteries and great service, too.
Yes. If it runs on batteries, we'll keep it running at Batteries Plus, America's battery stores.
Next on my camera.
What's going on here? Something connected with a federal beef.
Where's Meyer?
There's been a kidnapping.
Who are you?
Ben Carruthers, CIA.
You are a Russian agent?
Hey, man, you're not the only double agent in this. Kane is in town. He's a member of the killer elite. What is this, the Gulf War revisited?
Mike!
Who's she? I'm just a guy in a dress with a big curiosity.
Sunday at 9 on WWAZ, Channel 19.
I'm Darren Smith alongside Pete Hillenbrand. Top half of the third inning. Legendary Bosse Field here on this Saturday night. Owensboro Catholic in Evansville Reitz, and it's 1-0 in favor of Catholic right now. Pete.
Well, the Panther right fielder John Harp stopped by and talked to his buddy Kyle Ritter on the mound in between innings as he was heading out to his defensive position. I would assume that he just talked about, hey, look, you know, they tagged you a little bit in hits. They only got 1 run out of it. You came back in the second inning, 1-2-3. So the Panthers now looking forward to going to work on defense as Kyle Ritter really settled down in his last outing in the last inning against Owensboro Catholic, now taking his second look at Nick Williams, who started the game off with an infield hit.
Nick Williams hitting .364. That's 8 hits, 2 of those doubles. He's knocked in 3 runs here. Second base full-time now. He played behind Mitchell Sims last year. Saw some shortstop last year as well, but this is your second baseman this year for Coach Corley. It's 0-1 here to Nick Williams. And Villada and McCrary were back on top here. Top of the order here in the top of the third inning for Owensboro Catholic. The 0-1 is upstairs again, and that is all. Adam Baylor, and there's 1 away.
Little looper to the shortstop Baylor that time. It sounded like a solid connection, but right at Baylor and a little looper. So Williams, Ritter wins this battle with Nick Williams and gets his second look at Villada.
Ricky Villada. Senior, twin brothers. You got Ricky and Brian. That's another one to Adam Baylor. And just 1 pitch that time to Ricky Villada. And quickly for Kyle Ritter. Much better now in the last 2 innings. And there's quickly 2 away for Reitz.
Probably the Panther coaching staff not surprised with the offensive start of Owensboro Catholic. It is Kyle Ritter's first start. You know, the game's been well underway in all of his other appearances this season, and he's come through with 3 saves. A little different look, and Kyle Ritter has settled in and now looking very impressive. That big sweeping breaking ball, and then that deceptionally quick fastball.
Nick McCrary had the single back in the first inning, was stranded at third. Again, McCrary at .333 coming into this Saturday. 0-1 here to McCrary. East is on deck for Owensboro Catholic. And Ritter trying to turn it his way. That's that one to foul out of play. Quickly again, 0-2 for Kyle Ritter. Kyle Ritter also looking for his first varsity strikeout. 3 1/3 before coming in, as Pete said, after the game had been well underway. He has 2 saves this year, Kyle Ritter. Got his first start here tonight against Owensboro Catholic. And here's Here's 0-2 to Nick McCrary, and a busy inning for Adam Baylor. That's just out of his reach. It may have grazed the glove of Baylor, and that's a 2-out single, and Nick McCrary, the DH, is 2 for 2 tonight.
And he was left at third in the first inning. Now he'll be looking to get his way around the bases. Right now, a hit goes up, and a sharply hit ball through the shortstop Baylor for McCrary's second hit.
Brandon East with one aboard here for Owensboro Catholic. Swings and misses for strike one. Sat out most of the fall football season. The great year it was for Mojo Hollowell and the boys. It was a 3-year starter. Also, as we talked about, played basketball. Saw him earlier this year in a game televised here on Channel 19. 0-1 is down low, looking for another stolen base. Now to second base, and he has that no problem. Nick McCrary, and he has his third stolen base here.
Second of the game for Owensboro Catholic. McCrary's first today, back in the first inning.
1 ball, 1 strike here to Brandon East. Out by 4 already down at second base is Nick McCrary. The 1-1 as well on the outside. One of the most mispronounced names in Western Kentucky is Brandon East because of the spelling. You take a look at East and you spell it with an I. I-S-T-R-E. Here's 2-1 to Brandon East, and on the inside, and the count moves 3-1 now to East with Scholl on deck, and the runner in scoring position down at second, Nick McCrary.
Well, if East can wait on it, well, this is a fastball opportunity. He can.
Austin Maxheimer, a little bobble over at third. And the runner's at the corners again like it was back in the first inning. And so East is 1 for 2 today with the RBI. Go ahead. I didn't mean to interrupt you, Pete. Go ahead.
Oh, that's all right, Darren. After you. No, what a gentleman's game it is up here in the booth.
Here's Ben Scholl. Our first game back in a while. And producers' first games back in a while. Our producers tonight here at Bosse Field, Greg Grodius and Bob McDonald. This might get him out of it. Tag the force down at second base. Adam Baylor's inning. One just grazed his glove, but he actually made all 3 outs with a little help from his friends. 2.5 in. 1-0 Owensboro Catholic. We move to the bottom half of the third. We're at Bosse Field on a Saturday night. High school baseball is back on Channel 19.
It's time. Lloyd's Inland Mall with great prices and selection. For a limited time, you can double your warranty on any new Falcon powered by Mercruiser. That's right. With any new Falcon powered by Mercruiser, double your warranty. That's right. Double your warranty. Plus, up to $1,250 rebate on any new Falcon by Thunderbird. This won't last long. Hurry in now. Lloyd's Inland Marine in Eastland Mall, across from DeYoung's.
On an all-new Freno, Sophia's got her first modeling job, but it isn't what it seems.
We think Sophia's in trouble.
Nick Freno. Then, on an all-new Parenthood, TK can have a party. He just can't get caught.
What is going on here? I was just trying to study.
And on an all-new Sister Sister, it's the girls' prom night. And surprise, Lisa's made their dresses.
I want to die.
Sister Sister after Freno and the Parenthood.
Sunday at 6 on WWAZ, Channel 19.
Alongside Pete Hillenbrand, I'm Darren Smith. Bottom half of the third inning, Owensboro Catholic, Evansville Reitz. 1-0 right now, favorite Catholic. Pete?
A couple of more Catholic hits in that last inning. They got on Ritter a little bit, but they stranded 2 more, and things have really changed. And since the first inning, just a 1-0 ball game now. Pitchers have settled down. And, well, Coombs really hasn't had much difficulty yet. He's given up 1 hit, but that was erased by a double play. And he has 2 strikeouts.
7, 8, 9 here for the Panthers in the bottom of the third. Austin Maxheimer, first offensive look at the junior.
He has really been challenged defensively tonight. Had to handle some really hot shots and had to go to his right a couple of times.
That's good hands. We saw that a little bit on the football team this past year for Bob Gaddis, Austin Maxheimer. No varsity numbers last year for Austin. Right now he is 0 for 8 this season, but not anymore. As that one goes into left field, it should be extra bases as Austin Maxheimer will take 2 bags. Standing up, leadoff double for Austin Maxheimer.
All over Jeremy Coombs that time. Austin got what he was looking for. Sent it to the wall for a stand-up double for Austin as he busted out of the hitting slump.
As soon as you bring that up, there it goes. Not you, I. And Austin Maxheimer has his first, and he is down to second base. And Reitz has the tying run right now in scoring position. Still early, bottom of the third. High school baseball goes 7. This is Sam Schmitz. He is the look behind the plate this year. That is down low by Coombs for ball 1.
Schmitz really getting his arms out over home plate. Really taking ownership of the plate up there as he steps in from the right side.
Schmitz 0 for 5 this year. No varsity numbers from a season ago. It was Cook behind the plate last year for Steve Johnston. Cook now, of course, over at USI. Amongst other players, the Panthers lose from the 14 and 15 team last year. Ben Forrest, who attends IU. Andy Babb, the familiar-looking center field. Gary Wolf wasn't a bad pitcher at all. The departed for Reitz down on the outside. And for the first time tonight, either pitcher 3-0. So 3-0 to Sam Schmitz. John Harp on deck. We'll have seen the batting 9 here for Reitz.
Schmitz, I believe, too, looking for his first hit of this season in 5 trips to the plate.
3-0, and that one found it. Had to be there for Coombs. And the count is 3-1. That last double by Austin Maxheimer is the team 10th on the year. And what is game number 9? Coming back nicely now is Coombs, and down 3-0, now has the count full at 3-2.
Brandon East shifted a little bit towards left center. Velada on the corners out there, both straight away.
Into center field, roomy center field, going to chase that one down. East in center, rolls almost back to the warning track. That's going to score Maxheimer. The game going to be tied at 1. RBI double for Schmitz. Austin Maxheimer into Sam Schmitz. Break out of a little slump here early in the season. Pick up some doubles, and they're on the board. Game tied at 1.
Well, they had East shifted over to the left field side, and if you think about it, it really makes sense. You expect them to get around a little bit on it, although Coombs has been coming with some heat. But Schmitz really made him pay for that adjustment. And a couple of the Panthers getting their first hits this afternoon, both doubles.
I'm chuckling because Harp right now is 0 for 3 this year, and he's trying to get on board. Not going to do it. A basket catch, though, over in foul grounds. Nice rundown by Scholl.
Boy, that was the
first out that way.
That was a tough one. Scholl ran straight back for that one at an angle and caught it over. It was a very difficult catch, and made the turn to keep Schmitz in check down at second base.
Here's JT. JT Bagby popped out to center field to begin the night for the Panthers. Game is tied at 1. It's a game that's already seen a combined 9 hits. We're in the bottom half of the third. That to the outside. Hopper there to Chad Dickens.
That's the go-ahead run at second base in Sam Schmitz, and Dickens did a good job in keeping that ball in front of him, away and in the dirt. Those are tough ones to haul in.
1 ball, no strikes. JT Bagby. Elfrick's on deck, and Bagby takes this one on the line fair. Sure is. Reitz has their first lead. In comes Schmitz, and out of second. 3 doubles in the big bottom half of the third for Reitz. 2-1 Panthers. A big inning this morning against Evansville Memorial. Helped them win that big game, 14-9 over the Tigers today, Pete.
And now they're hitting the ball very, very solidly, Darren. A couple of shots down left field, and then one deep to right center, just barely right of center field. 3 doubles this inning. The Panthers have parlayed that into a 1-run lead.
That brings up Helfrich. And Nick Helfrich, a sophomore. Like I said earlier, already 1 for 2 today. He's been on base 3 times with 2 walks. And Helfrich trying to get on the first time in the nightcap. Struck out back in the first.
He's still shading a little bit towards left field. Not quite as dramatic as earlier this inning. Still a little to the left out there.
I want to hopper again. A little hesitation, but going to go ahead and try to take third. That almost went into the outfield, and I'll tell you what, Seth Lawson just saved a Reitz Panther run.
He did a great job in getting away and going into the runner to make that catch. That's a tough one to make, too. And things going the Panthers' way this time.
Like it could be another big inning for the Panthers. You have a couple of big innings each died out. That usually wins you the ball game. Suicide squeeze, not quite.
Love that kind of baseball. Not a big jump that time down at third by Bagby, but enough that you could tell what was coming as Helfrich turned to try to lay that one down.
Jeremy Coombs here. Busy in the bottom half of the third. Reitz has their first lead, 2-1. 10 hits now on the board. 6 of those still belong to Owensboro Catholic, 90 feet away. The would-be third in J.T. Bagby. This is 2-1 by Jeremy Coombs. That's Jacob Reed gonna come home with this one. Dickens was covering. Throw was there. Underneath went Bagby. Not only do they not get the outs, it's the third across for Reitz, and the Panthers up the lead 3-1 with still one away.
Well, Fetch goes, or check that, Helfrich goes down to first base on the fielder's choice and picks up an RBI in the process as they decided to go home. But a really good jump by Bagby that time, and not much of a chance to get Bagby as he gets in ahead of the throw. And now the Panthers alive with Helfrich at first base and Ryan Fetcher at the plate.
Jeremy Coombs facing his 6th batter here in the bottom half of the third. Velker is on deck. Runner goes. Dickens, not a bad arm, but the throw was a bit high. Grabbed there by Nick Williams down at second base, and the Panthers continue to keep runners in scoring position.
Well, if you're Catholic, you hope that you can survive this inning. 3 doubles this inning, and a couple of stolen bases by the Panthers. And Reitz has worked it around to a 2-run lead.
Ryan Fetcher led this team in hitting last year, batting .370. And that's a base hit in between left and center field. This will score the runner. Helfrich comes across to be the 4th this inning. How about the doubles this inning for Reitz? It's their 4th, and 4 runs are in. It is 4-1, Reitz Panthers.
Unbelievable the way they are getting on Jeremy Coombs. They just like what they see coming from the tall right-hander, and they are really getting after him here this inning. The balls have been very, very well hit. 4 doubles, as you said, a couple of stolen bases, and just a pounding by the Panthers offensively here in the third.
Velker had the first hit tonight for Reitz. A single was left stranded. Actually, the double play took care of the 1 base hit. This is pop back and out of play for strike 1. 4-1 now, Reitz. 11 hits on the board, and the Panthers play catch-up in that category. 6 right now for the Aces and 5 for the Panthers. Where it counts, 4-1 right now, Reitz.
With another in scoring position and just 1 out.
No balls and a strike here to Velker. Adam Baylor is on deck. If they get to Chad Phillips, they'll have batted through.
Well, we got to see a great example of why coaches tell you if you don't take the ball to first base, you make sure that you get that other out. And they decided to go to the plate earlier. They didn't get that one. That left a base runner in Helfrich at first base. And he stole on the next pitch and then was doubled in. So another run results in 1 less out as from that, and I'm sure they'll be reminded of that here when they come into the dugout after this inning. But Reitz really getting on the ball.
And he'll keep it going. This one into left field. Going to take that roll, and Johnson going to go ahead and send them at home. It's number 5 in for Reitz. It is 5-1 Panthers, and the great inning. They had a great one earlier this morning against Evansville Memorial when they scored 7 in the 4th. Well, here in the bottom half of the third, 5 across, and it's 5-1 now. Reitz, and an RBI single for Aaron Velker. He is 2 for 2 in the nightcap.
Boy, the Panthers are just hitting hitting the baseball, and the bullpen now behind the fence out there in right field for Owensboro Catholic, so we're unable to tell if they have anyone working out there. But Reitz making all of these runs legitimate, just really pounding the ball, seeing it very well right now.
This is Adam Baylor. So 5 for Reitz tonight, and this has a double play written on it. It's Reed again to Williams. Williams may not get it there in time. It sneaks behind Scholl. Wouldn't have him anyway, and Baylor's on his way to second base. They get the much-needed second out, and they're one out from getting out of what has been a very productive for Reitz. It's our first error of the game. They're going to charge it to Williams. And moving down to second goes Baylor, and Reitz, by the way, now has been...
Well, Phillips now has the opportunity to keep the inning going and avenge his last at bat when he grounded into the classic 6-4-3 double play. And his second look at Coombs, he's wanting to see the ball as well as his teammates are.
Nice comeback there by Coombs, and there's strike one.
That was a well-placed pitch for the first one to Phillips, just out over the outside corner, about belt high. Phillips watched him for a strike.
Maxheimer began the bottom half of the third, and he's on deck. Here's the 0-1 pitch towards the inside. Didn't miss by really a whole lot on that last one, and maybe Coombs' best pitching since the bottom half of the third has been very recently.
Well, he came with the big sweeping curve that time, and that covered a lot of ground, as that didn't miss by much by the time it found the glove. It broke a long way. Another big sweeping curve finds its mark.
1 ball, 2 strikes from Jeremy Coombs to Chad Phillips. Runner down at second is Adam Baylor. And here in the bottom half of the third, it has been Reitz as they lead Owensboro Catholic by a score of 5-1. Hits now even at 6 apiece. And the 1-2 by Jeremy Coombs got him looking. It's his third of the night. Tough inning for Coombs and company. Wright puts 5 on the board, 3 complete at Bosse Field on a Saturday night. 5-1 Evansville Reitz for high school baseball Saturday night on WWAZ.
When the Tuesday night.
Hysterical Tuesday.
It's a comedy of epic proportions.
Oh, I don't doubt that.
Don't miss Malcolm and Eddie and Good News on Tuesdays right after Moesha and Clueless.
Oh, it's going to be so wonderful. Is it?
Tuesday at 8 on WWAZ Channel 19.
Just one. Will the future rock or will there be no sound? A world without music, not while Oscar's around.
Monday at 6:30 on WWAZ Channel 19.
Every tri-state mailroom.
On an all-new Freno, Sophia's got her first modeling job, but it isn't what it seems.
We think Sophia's in trouble.
Nick Freno. Then, on an all-new Parenthood, TK can have a party. He just can't get caught.
What is going on here? I was just trying to study.
And on an all-new Sister Sister, it's the girls' prom night. And surprise, Lisa's made their dresses.
I want to die.
Sister Sister after Freno and the Parenthood.
Sunday at 6 on WWAZ Channel 19.
Vallada going to begin the top half of the fourth inning. It'll be Vallada, Dickens, and Lawson. That'll be 6, 7, and 8 for Owensboro Catholic in the top half of the fourth. I'm Darren Smith along with Pete Hillenbrand. Happy you could join us on a Saturday late night. Our first of quite a few here to come here in high school baseball in the spring of '98. Back on May the 4th, we'll take a look at another pretty good Owensboro team, the Apollo Eagles, who coming in today just had 1 loss. Bob Mantoos bunch taking on the always tough Evansville Memorial Tigers. And drop 2 today, but Quentin Merkel seems to always be ready for the big games, whether it be at midseason against a cross-state rival or against a cross-state powerhouse like Apollo, or certainly in the postseason. That'll be a good one on May 4th here at Bosse Field. That'll be a Monday night, and that'll be our next high school baseball telecast here on Channel 19.
Big inning in the fourth, or in the third rather, for the Reitz Panthers. 5 runs on 5 hits, including the double barrage, 4 doubles of that inning, including back-to-back doubles from Austin Maxheimer and Sam Schmitz. Incidentally, their first hits of this '98 campaign. And the Panthers now on D, and Kyle Ritter continues to work as he looks at Brian Vallada for the second time.
He's one of the top hitters this week in Owensboro, whether you play for Senior, Apollo, or Catholic. Vallada up around 500.
They beat a good one last night, Darren. Barry McDyer pitched in the Muhlenberg North game against these aces, and he's Muhlenberg's North best, they tell me.
Slow roller. This could be trouble. Baylor had a very busy top of the third. That throwing error allows Vallada to go down to second base. That's a tough field. You got to give him the hit and then the throwing error. So Vallada has been hitting about 500 this year, is 1 for 2 right now, as he was forced out back in the first to end the first. Begins this fourth inning, getting down to second base. Tough one, though, for Adam Baylor to handle down at shortstop.
Well, that was going to go for an infield hit. Baylor had to hurry if he was going to have any chance at all, and you really don't have time to set yourself at all. You run in, you make the scoop, and you throw it on the run. He threw it wide, and now they have a runner in scoring position again, and Chad Dickens, the catcher, working.
What a great year, what a great season it's already been for Chad Dickens, the senior season, playing for the football state championship back in December. Not a bad baseball player, the catcher Chad Dickens. Went down 1-3 right back to Ritter in the second inning. But a 4-step lead for Vallada down at second base in the 0-1. Going to miss here towards the outside. Count 1 ball, 1 strike, Chad Dickens.
The sun directly into the pitcher's eyes. It's coming right out of home plate. And Ritter with his bill down to battle it. Ritter and the center fielder will have a little trouble, but as you can see, the shadows straight behind him.
1 ball, 1 strike. Check swing is going to go foul and out of play.
Little excuse me swing from Dickens, but the pitch looked good, and Ritter really going with his off speed and his breaking stuff, and it is working. He gave up 4 hits in the first, but has since settled down. He's given up 6 on the game. But good defensive play has kept the Panthers in it and has given them the lead. Oh, great offensive play.
Check back down at second. Seeing that coming all the way was Brian Vallada, the shift moving over. Adam Schiff covering down at second. 1 ball, 2 strikes here to Chad Dickens. Seth Lawson, Jacob Reed go down the Owensboro Catholic starting 9. Second time here tonight. 5-1 Reitz, again out of play. Keep the count, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Upcoming games for these two. Owensboro Catholic will host Owensboro Senior on Tuesday. That was a slugfest last time. 14-12 earlier this season. They'll host McLean County. Coach Tommy Burrows on Thursday. The only other Indiana school Owensboro Catholic will play this year, which you alluded to earlier, will be South Spencer further on down the line. Reitz take on Red Hot North. Evansville North on Monday. Harrison on Tuesday. They'll have Mater Dei and South Spencer themselves next week. 1-2 into left field. Nick Helfrich has to back up a little bit. Had it and lost it. On his way to third goes Vallada. They're going to send him in. Hold the runner down at second. In comes Vallada. Get one of those back from a troublesome bottom half of the third. First error on this side. That's a 5-2 ball game. Still Reitz on top by 3.
Helfrich out there and left that time. Never really had that ball. You could see him look for it as it came off the bat of Dickens, and he looked like he would recover in time, but that's tough to do. That ball was getting to him in a hurry, and just never did quite pick it up off the bat. It's a tough recovery to make.
Comes back with a strike. Ritter does to Seth Lawson. He took it to Chad Phillips in center field. (5-2) our score. And the first, and actually our first look tonight at Andrew Barr. Barr in for Seth Lawson. Andrew Barr, 429. That includes double. Comes off the bench. Try to add to his impressive early start. 429 for Barr, the junior. First sub in tonight for Neil Corley. I talked to earlier tonight. He says, I'll sub in quite a bit. You get the talent, you do so. So Andrew Barr for Owensboro Catholic. as the Aces try to make some noise here. Top half of the 4th inning, and they got him. First strikeout for Kyle Ritter. And there's the one away.
Andrew just crossed up by that off-speed stuff.
This is Jacob Reed. Went down 5-3 back in the 2nd inning. Go back on top to Nick Williams, who was 1 for 2 tonight. One down, top half of the 4th inning. 5-2 in favor of Reitz. Owensboro Catholic winning last night over Muhlenberg North, trying to go to 6-5. Reitz winning earlier today against Evansville Memorial, trying to go to 6-3 before taking on North Monday afternoon. Ritter looking for back-to-back Ks. Has it 0-2.
He's found the plate, and he's thrown the right mix of pitches to keep these guys guessing. A couple of errors this inning on defense, and he still shows signs of being in control, and he is, but timely errors have allowed the second run for the Aces.
Jacob Reed, 227, 6 base hits and a double. He's knocked in 3 runs this year. Second-year starter at shortstop is Jacob Reed. 1 on, 1 away. 1 already in for Owensboro Catholic. That misses to the outside, not by a whole lot. And Ritter has the count now. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Jacob Reed.
Good 2-strike pitch that time. Try to just catch Reed off guard as he throws the off-speed breaking ball, breaking away.
2-2 pitch. Maybe shallow, maybe trouble. In between 3. Hart came in, Phillips came in, backing up was Bagby. 3rd time tonight that Owensboro Catholic will have runners at the corners, and with 1 away, Owensboro Catholic continues to make some noise here in the top half of the 4th inning. Tying run going to come to the plate for the moment, and Nick Williams. We're back on top, by the way.
Script is really playing out to provide us with an interesting ball game. The get on and go Aces of Owensboro Catholic. That's how the coaches describe their offense. We get on and we go, and now they've got runners at the corners. They really pressure the pitcher and the catcher. They make the defense make the big plays. Up until this inning, the Panthers have been. They've struggled a little bit defensively now, and so far have just allowed 1 run.
Nick Williams swings and misses for strike 1. Well, you talk about their coaching staff. Neil Corley and Jeff Arnold have been playing ball since 7 years of age. Corley last year coached at Hancock County. Previous 2 years, he was the assistant, as we alluded to, under Jeff Arnold. Talked to Coach Arnold earlier tonight. Wanted to step down. Had his first child, who is 4 months old today, and Caitlin. And still wants to be a part of baseball. Tough one to get. Aces add. And now trail by 2 at 5-3. Nice bunt by Nick Williams, and it's 1st and 2nd for Owensboro Catholic.
You're not going to make that play. Ritter did everything he could, even if he had come up with that cleanly and fired to first. No play was to be made. Jacob Reed laid down a beautiful bunt for an RBI, and now they have the tying run on the bases.
Brian Vellada in, Chad Dickens in. Here's Brian's brother Ricky. Scored already tonight himself. Single back in the 1st, 6-3, went down that way in the 3rd inning. There's 1 down here in the top half of the 4th inning. And trying to bunt their way aboard again. A little quicker off the hill that time, but it's not going to get there. Perfection of the bunt so far we've seen here in the top half of the 4th by Neil Corley's bunch. And for the first time tonight, either team has the bases loaded.
Back-to-back bunts really makes the defense guess. Who would ever think that that would come at you? Back-to-back bunts with 1 out. And now the base is juiced. And Nick McCrary and the hard-swinging Brandon East on deck.
This is you want maybe one up there right now, too. McCrary is 2 for 2 tonight. So McCrary has them loaded. 90 feet away, Reed. Down at 2nd, Williams. Ricky Vellada at 1st, and the first one going to miss down low for ball 1. So right back comes Owensboro Catholic, and there is 1 out on the board, and double plays everywhere for the Panthers trying to get out of it.
4 hits in the inning. 2 of them have been bunts.
That one down low, 2-0. Walks a run here, folks.
Tough one to field for Sam Schmitz. Good work that time by the catcher.
2 balls, no strikes to Nick McCrary. Inside pitch, going to be taken. I thought just foul, and I thought right. Come back and do it again. 2-1.
Good call that time. It was a close one down the third base line, but just to the left of the bag. And Joe Calderazzo down there in time to get on top of things.
Wayne Patterson on the bases tonight, both out of Washington, Indiana. 2 balls and a strike here. Nick McCrary trying to go 3 for 3. Bases loaded for Catholic. 2-1 into center field. Should get one home anyway. Chad Phillips backing up in center field. Runner's going to tag Jacob Reed. It's going to make this a 5-4 ball game. 2 away. But Owensboro Catholic cuts the deficit to 1 in a productive top half of the 4th for the Aces here, Pete.
Nice little sacrifice fly out to the center fielder, Phillips. Fortunately for Chad, the sun kind of dipped behind a cloud a little bit. It's tough out there, but it's toned down a little bit.
Brandon East.
But they were able to advance 1 on the sacrifice. Now they've got the tying run in scoring position. And a go-ahead on the bases.
Takes it into left. He's going to score another. On his way to third. And down to second goes East. Second and third. This game is tied at 5.
What a ball game. What a ball game it is. Just legitimate hits. Both sides of the inning. And a fans type of game.
Adam Campbell going to bat here. Adam Campbell going to bat for Ben Scholl. So as you know, Corley will not be shy to sub in when he feels need be. Go ahead run now down 90 feet away, and there's Campbell. He takes a look at strike 1. Adam Campbell numbers this year: 222 with an RBI. It's another 3-sport athlete. Football, linebacker and fullback, basketball player, and obviously baseball. Nothing at 2 here to Adam Campbell. He's a sophomore.
Gonna have to chat with the official scorekeeper here in between innings, but check out how we'll score all of that. I believe we'll give East a single, and then advancing to second on the boot. Helfrich had a little trouble holding it in.
A little trouble for Baylor that time. Still should get him in time. Rough go for the Panthers here in the top half of the 4th. This is anybody's. This game tied at 5, 3.5 in as we move to the bottom half of the 4th inning. 5-5 Owensboro Catholic, Evansville Reitz. High school baseball Saturday night in WWAZ Channel 19.
Sunday night at 10 on WWAZ Channel 19. It's Election 98, a preview. I'm Les Shively, your host for a lively half hour with the names in Indiana and Kentucky politics. This week, Democratic Sheriff candidate Art Gann and political reporter for the Evansville Courier, Alan Julian. The stage is set, and it's your best chance to know the candidates in your area. Join me Sunday night at 10 on WWAZ Channel 19.
Love Boat, The Next Wave is Primetime's hottest new hit. And the next episode is even hotter. Here's a preview with a sea view. The doctor's playing doctor.
Surprise.
Oh, I hope you just stopped by for some ointment.
The chief purser's playing with fire. And the captain's son is still just playing around.
You know, you could take pictures of some of their faces.
You remember them the way you want to, I'll remember them the way I want to.
Monday at 7 on WWAZ Channel 19.
Welcome back to Bossy Field here on a Saturday night. I'm Darren Smith with Pete Hillenbrand, the bottom half of the 4th inning. We've got a 5-all tie between Owensboro Catholic and Evansville Reitz. 2-1 last year in favor of the Panthers. And the offensive changes are also going to stay in defensively. Adam Campbell over at first base for Ben Scholl, and in for Seth Lawson over at third base is going to be Andrew Barr. So 5-all. Bottom half of the 4th. Lead things off here for the Panthers in the bottom half of the 4th is Austin Maxheimer. Picked up his first varsity hit with a double. Get things started in a very big 3rd inning for Reitz.
get back to work. Boy, a nice inning that time, too, for Owensboro Catholic. So now they're back on D. Panthers with their other crack at offense. Going to be a tough play.
Off the glove that time of Coombs, and you'll actually score that one. 1-4-3, and there's one away. First touch for Campbell defensively, and now over at first base. One quick out. Down goes Maxheimer, and here is Sam Schmitz.
He doubled his last time up and knocked in Maxheimer. These guys started last inning off. And then he was doubled in by Bagby.
Junior Sam Schmitz, 5-5 game. Reitz has 19 runs on this day so far. That's a ride to left field. Ricky Villada is going to have to back up for this one. That's off the wall. Back-to-back doubles for Sam Schmitz. And how about the junior here?
Not too shabby of a day, huh, Darren? Not too bad. Back-to-back doubles. There he is in scoring position with one out. He represents the go-ahead run here in the bottom of the fourth.
I said Reitz already has 19 on the board today. Actually, they have 19. Would be 20 down at second base. 14 runs this morning in that better than 3-hour game over Evansville Memorial. John Harp fouled out back in the third inning. And the first is strike one from Jeremy Coombs. Go back on top to J.T. Bagby. Down the Reitz Panther 9 twice.
Harp looking to figure in on some of the Panther offense. An opportunity for a ribby here.
Nice save there by Dickens down low, and the count 1-1 strike here to John Hart. Reitz really has had no problem scoring runs so far in their first 8 games. They have 45 runs, but they've given up 41. Still, it amounts to a 5-3 record. 1-1 strike. That down low into the outside. Both teams have losses here early on they'd like to forget about. We talked about that game that Catholic played against Davis County. They lost 19-1. Reitz had a tough one against Jeffersonville. It was game 2 of a doubleheader that day. They had beaten Mount Carmel, but fell to Jeff 14-0.
Coombs having trouble low and away this inning. Most of his pitch has been outside and a few in the dirt. Coach Corley is also the pitching instructor. He's out there. Maybe he recently saw something that he could come on out and relate to Jeremy Coombs. Corley described as an incredible motivator by some of his coaching staff. They really credit him with the ability to decide what type of motivation a player needs at any given time. And, you know, that is the biggest challenge in coaching, is to get the potential out of a player. And definitely is reported to be one of his strong suits.
Fouls that one back on the count 2-2. Corley played at this field when he was at Western Kentucky. Didn't really like his outing or outings here when he played baseball for Joe Murray. The 1987 graduate of Owensboro Catholic says, well, I was a pitcher. I didn't record an out here. It was a tough outing with the Toppers. But Neil Corley is a baseball man. Hancock County last year, and was an assistant here under Jeff Arnold. Arnold's still here. That one down to Andrew Barr over at first to record the out. He had to glance over because right at him was Schmitz. He'll stay at third, 90 feet away, the go-ahead for Reitz. But there's the important second out. You've got experience on this coaching staff for Catholic. And talking about Corley and Arnold, the boyhood friends. Gene Van Hoos knows a thing or two about baseball, winning the state championship with Owensboro's senior. Brady Southwood, the former baseball standout. Alan Hancock makes up the coaching staff this year for Owensboro Catholic. J.T. Bagby back on top, and there's 2 away.
Well, they got the second out, but also the runner advances to within 90 feet of the plate. Sam Schmitz moves to third on the fielder's choice. And Bagby with 1 RBI has an opportunity to add another. Toward
the outside, 2-0. Reitz coaching staff this year. Steve Johnston in his 13th year. Andy Noblett, the former standout Jasper, UE, the Otters. He's the JV coach. Jay Hilly is the freshman coach. Kevin Bullock also helping out. This puts Reitz on top, back on top, 6-5. And JT Bagby picks up his second RBI in the nightcap. And he is 2 for 3 tonight, and Reitz back on top by a score of 6-5.
Boy, the Reitz Panthers really are playing a nice baseball game. That's going to be all for Jeremy Coombs. Opportunity to take a look at Adam Roan. Come in, a right-hander. Tall right-hander.
Yeah, we'll keep this one here. A little bit of Adam Roan. Take our first look at Adam Roan here on Channel 19. He is a sophomore, limited at bats this season, where he's batting in the neighborhood of 500. But yeah, not a bad outing for Jeremy Coombs tonight. His tough inning, the last one in the third, but we saw some good stuff tonight from Jeremy Coombs.
Well, the Panthers, well, what can you say? They like him. They really like his fastball. He had more success when he got away from that and went to some off-speed and breaking stuff. But Reitz has been all over his fastball tonight. And really, the Panther runs, all very legitimate. They've really had a fine evening at the plate. And they're working on another one here. But a nice station-to-station baseball, so to speak, by the Panthers to get Sam Schmitz in. Schmitz helped himself out a lot with his second double in a row, but advanced to third on a fielder's choice. And then the second base hit of the night by J.T. Bagby provided Bagby with his second RBI, and the Panthers with a 1-run lead.
6-5 here in the bottom half of the fourth inning. Long day of baseball at Bosse Field here in Evansville. We're back out here on May the 4th again. Our next televised high school baseball game, Monday night, May 4th, Evansville Memorial, Owensboro, Apollo. And you got the traditional powers, well, certainly this year for Bob Mantooth, who just had one setback as they lost to Senior earlier this week. A day the Tigers of Memorial would like to forget, but they're always tough. They got a great pitcher in the name of, well, Josh Todd, for one.
That's an area that they're struggling at this year, and it's uncharacteristic for the Tigers to ever really find an area of struggle. But that will come around. They're very gifted offensively. They've got a tough defensive squad. Todd on the mound, Keon the pitching, and you won't see that happen again. You know, they will not lose 2 more in one day again, and it wouldn't surprise me if Coach Merkel doesn't parlay these 2 losses into a sweep for the rest of the way.
Well, I was talking about earlier, and we kind of hinted at this, you know, in Owensboro and in Evansville, you know, there's not an easy game on any night just playing inside your city. Talking about Apollo and Senior this year, along with Catholic, who we're seeing tonight for the first time in the spring of '98. And here at Evansville, we've seen great games over the years. Anyone can beat any given team on any given night. It's not the same in all cities. It really isn't. But I think here in Evansville, and certainly in Owensboro, you've got, well, combined 8 very good ball clubs. Excuse me, 10 very good ball clubs. Some kind of an Indiana versus Kentucky tonight, or an Owensboro versus Evansville. You got Catholic out of Owensboro, or Reitz out of Evansville here on a Saturday night. And this one is not decided yet. It's 6-5 here in the bottom half of the fourth. And first from Roan. Gets behind Chad Dickens, easily down to second, moved J.T. Bagby. So another in scoring position for Reitz.
Well, Nick Helfrich just saw the smoke that Roan has. Roan is a hard thrower and had some struggles with controlling his warm-up pitches, and the first fastball got away inside, and the runner, Bagby, advances on the wild pitch.
1-0 here by Roan. Almost grazed the jersey. He misses his first 2. It's 2-0 here to Helfrich. Struck out back in the first. Reached and scored back in the third inning.
6 foot 150 and a sophomore is the hard-throwing Roan. Uses every bit of that arm length to get the whip on the ball.
Yeah, like I said, a nice group, a nice core of sophomores for Catholic. I mentioned you can play at 8th grade if you're good enough, and they've had quite a few do that.
Inside out on the fastball, and it'll go foul.
Foul here to the right side, and so 2-1 to Nick Helfrich. Ryan Fetcher on deck for the 5-3 Panthers. Their wins over Grayville, Illinois, Mount Carmel, Illinois. They beat Castle out of Newburgh. A win over Bosse, that may or may not stand. It was a forfeit win, and they'll know for sure on Monday. Right now we'll count it. And they beat Memorial earlier today. That stands. It'd be 3-0 in the 3-1 rather in the Southern Indiana Athletic Conference.
Roan misses again inside as Helfrich gets out of the way. But Roan with some control problems early and missed 3 times inside.
3 balls and a strike. And 3-1 comes back Adam Roan.
He said, hey, the plate's mine. He came back to claim it that time. Runs the count to full.
Bottom of the 4th inning. 6-5 Reitz. What a 4-step lead down at second for J.T. Bagby. Here's 3-2 by Roan. Trying to come back and get him to the inside pitch. Helfrich did to the screen, and it's still 3-2.
Might have had a souvenir that time. Wasn't for that screen. I think I'll take that screen up there, though.
What I like about Bosse Field and Princeton's field is similar. Princeton, Indiana's field is similar. You got the net, you don't have the chain link fence, and, you know, it really doesn't bother you that much looking through it. 3 balls and 2 strikes to Nick Helfrich. Reitz trying to keep it going here in the 4th where there's 2 down. Takes this one upstairs. This is going to go foul. Dickens this time says he has it, and he does. A little miscommunication earlier, but that time it's all Chad Dickens. Reitz retakes the lead 6-5. We've played 4. We enter the top half of the 5th inning on high school baseball Saturday night. Owensboro Catholic and Evansville Reitz on Channel 19.
Whether it's cruising home turf or riding vacation surf, America runs on batteries. That's why America runs to Batteries Plus, the store with thousands of batteries for thousands of items. At Batteries Plus, you can power any performance with the widest selection of quality, fully warranted batteries at great prices. Our battery specialists will even test your old battery and install a new one for free with no appointment needed. Get a sure start on summer. At Batteries Plus, America's battery stores.
On the next Highlander,
we have some unfinished business.
When a watcher in peril becomes human bait,
I have someone you want. You have someone I want.
Will Joe betray his oath?
I'm an immortal, you're a watcher, but we're in league together? Sounds a lot like interference to me.
And lead Mythos.
This is a trap, man. This is between me and him.
To an immortal's doom. On the next Highlander.
Wednesday at 9 on WWAZ Channel 19.
I'm Darren Smith alongside Pete Hillenbrand as we move to the top half of the 5th inning. It's Owensboro Catholic and Evansville Reitz. 6-5. Reitz right now on top.
Boy, and the Panthers, another run on a couple of hits. They stranded 1. 6 runs on 8 hits so far in the game for Reitz. They've only stranded 2 runners. Now they've committed a couple of errors and capitalized on 1 Owensboro Catholic error. For the Aces, 5 runs on 12 hits, and they've stranded 6. So not a game that I would expect them to be used to, but they like to run the bases. I still think we'll see them do a lot of things yet. Boy, how about that last inning? A couple of bunts back-to-back. They really mix it up.
Brian Villada just out of the reach of Maxheimer over at 3rd, and Villada starts the inning out his way. 1 pitch, 1 on here for Owensboro Catholic in the top half of the 5th inning.
He started the last inning with the single, and Austin Maxheimer really getting a workout over there. Coach Johnston out to talk to Kyle Ritter. Ritter throwing a nice ball game, but it is a 1-run game.
He used 3 pitchers. He used 3 pitchers today in that game, that 3-hour-plus game over Memorial today.
Chris Brinkmeyer came in relief of Ryan Fetcher and took a line drive off of his right forearm. Didn't get an update on him right before this start, but it bruised and swelled immediately, and he had trouble gripping the baseball. He had to exit the game. Coach Johnston said that he can still run. He, you know, at the time that I talked to Coach Johnston before the game, he had considered had considered using him this evening, possibly as a pinch some speed, but he was walking around with that right forearm wrapped to the wrist and around the hand. So quite a bruise. Hopefully that's all. Just quite a bruise for Chris Brinkmeyer. Fine-looking young Reitz pitcher. He showed a lot of control when he came in to take over in that Memorial game, and he only lasted for a few batters from the line drive.
Take a look at the new pitcher here for the Reitz Panthers, and that'll be our first look. This will be our first look at Sam Forrest this season. Forrest on the year, 11 1/3 innings pitched. He's given up 12 hits. He's given up 6 runs, all those earned. He has struck out 8. He has walked 8. Forrest at 1-1 as a 3.70 ERA. So our first look at Sam Forrest tonight. Not a bad season in '97. And he's going to try to come in here and Reitz maintain the lead at 6-5. But the trouble is going to begin with Chad Dickens here, his first batter facing the top half of the 5th.
Well, he's a left-hander that has kind of a wide outside over-the-top delivery, so to speak. Not straight over the top, not side-armed, kind of up there in the middle, somewhere around 2 o'clock or so, you might say. But a lefty that the Aces will have to deal with.
Forrest last year, 36 innings pitched. He finished last year, the '97 campaign, 4-2. Faced 157 batters, struck out 22 of those, walked only 15. And that was Forrest. Last year, 4.08 ERA. The staff last year, 4.27. So Sam Forrest in for Kyle Ritter. One on and nobody out here in the top half of the 5th inning for Owensboro Catholic.
Your memory continues to amaze me, pulling that stat out from last year.
Well, it helps when you have it on paper. I want to remind Owensboro Catholic fans and Owensboro Catholic alumni that your alumni game will be on May the 9th at 5 p.m. at Chautauqua Park in Owensboro. You're an alumnus of Owensboro Catholic baseball. Want to see a pretty good game? Check it out on May the 9th at 5 p.m. Alumni players, former Owensboro Catholic Aces who want to be a part of that game might want to contact Coach Neil Corley at the school on Monday. Alumni game, Chautauqua Park in Owensboro, May 9th, 5 p.m. for Owensboro Catholic. So Forrest in. Check back. Villada over at first base. Villada again 2 for 3 tonight. Dickens and 1 for 2.
Did you mention that alumni game trails the doubleheader with Greenwood?
Did not mention that.
So the alumni will have the opportunity to see these Aces in action and then relive some of the glory days on the field. But yeah, the coaching staff did mention that there are some players that they are having a hard time tracking down, and still looking for you if they have not found you yet.
If you're watching tonight, take a look at your alma mater, Owensboro Catholic, and give Coach Corley a call on Monday. Be part of that alumni game coming up on May the 9th. Corley, an alumnus, like I said, an '87 graduate of Owensboro Catholic. His brother played here as well, Roger. And another one, Alan, that played football, pretty good football player. The Corleys making their mark at Owensboro Catholic. 1 ball, 1 strike, threw him back, and that was close. Close as we've had back there tonight. Ryan Fetcher keeping him close. Villada.
Nice little quick move. Just an arm whip over there to get the ball almost in time.
Villada goes. Hit and run was going to be on. Villada's in there anyway. Another stolen base. That's now 38 stolen bases on the year. This is Catholic's 11th game of the season. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. Second goes Brian Villada.
And they move the tying run into scoring position with the battler Chad Dickens at the plate.
Top half of the 5th inning, a 6-5 game. Runner going to go again. Hesitated that time, and the throw just a little bit off, and it bounces off the glove of Maxheimer. This will tie it up at 6.
Well, they capitalized that time, and Maxheimer didn't handle it, and Helfer possibly had a shot at the plate had he come up with it, but tried to barehand it and could not come up with it. We'll give him the stolen base, and I'll charge the error to the catcher, Schmitz, and check with the head scorekeeper later. It's always nice to have him up in the booth close to us. Especially nice when he reinforces what I just claimed happened. The error goes to Schmitz, and the Aces tie it up.
6 apiece. 2 balls, 2 strikes here to Chad Dickens. Andrew Barr on deck. Jacob Reed to round down the 9th, 3rd time. Takes this one upstairs. Going to stay in the infield this time. Either the shortstop or the 3rd baseman. That's the shortstop, Adam Baylor. A couple of years ago, more than a couple of years ago, go back about 4 or 5 years ago, the press box is on top of the roof. And what I liked about that is you and I could read it a little bit better. Right now, I'm following the players. That's up and over the roof. And does it go to the shortstop? Does it go to the 3rd baseman? We'll find out in a second when it falls in the glove. Andrew Barr, second at bat, right to Austin Maxheimer. Quickly, there's 2 away after the 6th-run crosses for Catholic. 2 down here in the top half of the 5th inning, and that brings up Jacob Reed for a 3rd time tonight.
Reed has singled and scored once. Grounded out to Maxheimer in the 2nd inning. Austin has been getting a workout down there.
First missing down low here. Sam Forrest in for Kyle Ritter this inning. 1-0 for Jacob Reed. 1-0 working quickly. Sam Forrest. That misses down low. 2-0. Due up in the top half of the 6th for the Panthers, Fetcher, Velker, and Baylor. High school baseball goes at least 7. The 10-run rule, if that would have happened after 5. Not going to have that tonight. 6-6 our score.
Certainly would be a surprise in this matchup if that would happen. An unbelievable Saturday afternoon weather-wise. That is the sun.
It's peaked out, what, 3 or 4 times in the last hour and a half? Train's not running anymore. I've not seen a train yet today. Not that it goes to the outfield, but just on the outer edge. I've not seen that here this evening yet. Early evening. Watch it back on this Saturday night.
Familiar sound at Bosse Field always involves the train.
Well, take a look at this. That's our first walk given up tonight on either side. That's impressive in itself. And they've been hitting the ball, but that's the first walk giving up. And we're going to have I thought maybe a pinch runner. We're not. No. Back on top with Nick Williams. So the first walk given up tonight. Go to Sam Forrest. On a 2nd time is Jacob Reed. Back in plenty of time as they check him back over there. Ryan Fetcher at first. Nick Williams. 2 for 3 tonight. Started the game off for Catholic in the 1st. Good caught stealing. Actually, with more caught leading. Bunt single RBI back in the 4th inning. In the 3rd, he popped up to the shortstop, Adam Baylor. So we hit the 1st here to Nick Williams with 2 down in the top half of the 5th inning. That towards the outside. Trying to steal what would be their 39th stolen base of the year. That's into the outfield. Chad Phillips may have a shot at him, but no. Down to 3rd and trickling off the glove that time of Austin Maxheimer. Take advantage of throwing errors. That's the 3rd time tonight the Aces have done that, and they're go-ahead 90 feet away. So with 2 down, 90 feet away, the go-ahead Nick Williams.
Well, the sun definitely is responsible.
Jacob Reed, 90 feet away.
Is responsible for that error. The ball from the catcher, Sam Schmitz, just right into the sun, and 2nd baseman Bagby bailed out as he just totally lost it.
That's out of play. 1 ball, 1 strike here to Nick Williams.
He lost it in the sun. That's a tough one to take. The throw was high, but there. Don't know that it would have cut down the runner, but it would have definitely prevented him from advancing to 3rd.
1 ball, 1 strike. That's a bit high and towards the outside. So 2-1 here from Sam Forrest.
Little lazy looping curveball. Just didn't quite fall into the zone.
2 balls and a strike to Nick Williams. Forrest, he was going to try to bunt his way aboard, and in trouble here is Jacob Reed, and that's the way this is going to end. We have played 4 1/2. We move to the bottom half of the 5th inning, and this game is tied up at 6. Owensboro Catholic and Evansville Reitz make up high school baseball Saturday night, WWAZ.
Hungry for something rich and savory? Planning a get-together where great barbecue is a must? Call Mark's Barbecue. Mark's Barbecue specializes in catering for class reunions, parties, or any type of gathering where large appetites and big flavor come together. You'll also love Mark's mouth-watering fried chicken, and don't forget to top off your feast with a piece of Mark's homemade pie. Bring great barbecue to you with Mark's Barbecue. What could be easier? Mark's Barbecue, located behind the Hilltop Inn on Maryland, Evansville, Indiana.
Inline skating equipment isn't cheap, but this shrewd inliner saved a lot of money at Play It Again Sports by trading in used sports equipment for a complete set of inline gear. Of course, there are other places to buy inline skates, but at full price, it may be hard to afford everything you need. Play It Again Sports.
Of the fifth inning, I'm Darren Smith alongside Pete Hillenbrand. This game tied up at 6. Reitz and Catholic here on a high school baseball Saturday night. One from Indiana and one out of Kentucky, and it's been a pretty good one so far, Pete.
Well, the Aces tied it up last inning, taking advantage of a timely Panther error. 2 errors committed that inning by Reitz. One led to the score of Brian Vallata that tied it up. So 6 runs on 13 hits now total for the Panthers, and or for the Aces rather. And now Reitz coming up with their shot at the 5th inning.
Bottom of the 5th, Ryan Fetcher, Velker, and Baylor. Yep, 3-4-5 here for Reitz. Again, Reitz has Evansville North on Monday, and then they'll take on Harrison on Tuesday. Evansville Mater Dei, South Spencer next weekend for the Panthers. Owensboro Catholic, Owensboro Senior on Tuesday. McLean County on Thursday. Maybe Tommy Burrows speaking in tonight at a future opponent. Ben Norris over at Owensboro Senior. Into left field, and backing up, Vallata has to look way back for that one. It is gone. Home run, Reitz Panthers, Ryan Fetcher. And they retake the lead, 7-6.
His first dinger of the season, Darren. My only surprise is that it comes 9 games in. Fetcher really has the strength to give that ball a ride. And that's a long way out there. That's 330 or so at the point where it went out. And Fetch got that one out of here in a hurry.
So Ryan Fetcher, yeah, first dinger of the year, had a double, an RBI double earlier. Picks up his 2nd RBI of the night. And Ryan Fetcher had a pretty good morning game against Memorial. Gives Reitz the 7-6 lead for the moment. The bottom half of the 5th inning. Adam Rome, who came in for Jeremy Coombs, back an inning ago. He's going to face Aaron Velker for the first time.
Roan can throw it hard, and Fetcher was looking for it and got it. And gave it a ride.
It's our 20th hit of the night. 12 for Catholic. That's the 8th for the Panthers. That's a ride, but foul. Well fouled. He had the distance, though. Certainly had the distance. That's in Garvin Park.
Velker really turned on that pitch. And it's still going, I believe. We'll fish that one out of the lake later on over there in Garvin Park.
Next telecast, we'll have Apollo and Memorial on May the 4th, right here at Bosse Field. And that'll be a Monday night game. Here's the 0-1. Thought it hit him, and it did. First batter tonight that has been hit by a pitch. And Velker takes a trot down to first base. So he gets on all 3 times. Velker previously 2 for 2 tonight with an RBI.
Well, when Roan's been missing, he's been missing to the inside. And Velker takes that one. Really no chance to get out of the way.
Baylor reached on a fielder's choice and an error back in the 3rd. Struck out looking back in the 2nd. So we're going to look at Adam Baylor here. And we've got a runner, Michael Hudson, coming in for Aaron Velker. So Michael Hudson, get our first look tonight at the junior who checks in. Michael Hudson, 5'10", junior, goes about 160. And so Roan, who gave up the leadoff home run to Fetcher, now going to try to concentrate on Adam Baylor. Lights back on top, 7-6. Baylor then Phillips, Maxheimer, Schmitz, and Harp be down the Panther 9 for the third time tonight. '21 hits now in the game. Still at least
people claim baseball is a boring game. I don't think so.
Looking to bunt, trying to move up. Hudson running for Velker. Strike one here to Adam Baylor.
Knockdown, drag-out battle here at Bosse Field today. Nothing short, really, of what we expected, the way both of these teams play. The get-on-and-go attitude of Owensboro Catholic and the blue-collar manufacturing ethic of the Reitz Panthers. And, boy, it's been a treat. What a great way to open the season on Channel 19.
Reitz again at 5-3, and Catholic played their first game yesterday in 2 weeks because of the rain. And now at 5-5. Both these teams similar to last year, and even the score indicated that 2-1 a season ago. Catholic was 15-13, and Reitz was 14-15. Catholic was beaten in the first round of the district to Apollo. Reitz would lose in the championship game of the sectional to Evansville Central. Here's the 0-2 pitch, a bit high on the inside from Adam Roan. So 1 ball and 2 strikes here to Adam Baylor. That's Hudson running for Velker over at first base. It is 7-6 Reitz, and we are in the bottom half of the 5th inning and scheduled to go 7. A couple of games have flirted with the extra innings today here at Bosse Field. An earlier game between Reitz and Memorial, at one point you thought it was over, and Memorial put up 7 runs late in the game in 1 inning. But Reitz poured on some more of their own and won that game 14-9. Another game out here earlier today had Evansville Memorial in Castle, and that went 4-2 in favor of the Knights of Castle.
Knights hit the ball well this afternoon in that game against Memorial. I was just glancing at some of the things Coach Johnston told me before this ball game, and one of the things that he and his Panthers do is play smart, run smart, still try to be as aggressive as they can, but smarts is really where the focus is. And 6 runs on 8 hits, well, now 7 runs on 9 hits, taking advantage of everything they can, really opportunistic, and that opportunism has led to their 7-6 lead at this point.
Rowan has worked to count full 3-2, but he's going to check back over at first. Hudson running for Velker. 3-2 here to Adam Baylor. A couple of long at-bats tonight for Adam Baylor, the shortstop. 7-6 Reitz in the bottom of the 5th. Here's 3-2 to Baylor. Hit and run was on. May break up this double play. Not going to get him over at second. First is in time. That's a nice play. He had to hop up and over, by the way, if you were Jacob Reed. The hit and run helps break up a double play. Hudson, speedy anyway. And there is a pinch runner for Velker. He's in scoring position, but now they get the first out. Catholic does in the bottom half of the 5th inning. So still 7-6 Reitz, 1 down. And here is Chad Phillips for a 3rd time tonight.
Nice at-bat by Adam Baylor that time. He hit behind the runner on the hit and run, and often that gets into right field. The second baseman Campbell going to cover, but still able to stop in time to make that play.
Chad Phillips takes his first look at Roan, trying to bunt himself aboard, or at least move the runner up 90 feet away. There is strike 1 to Chad Phillips. Maxheimer to follow. Schmitz and Harp rounding out the 9 for the Reitz Panthers. Nothing in 1 here to Chad Phillips. Teams battling rain. Looked like earlier this morning when you got up, it could have been rained out again, but they played baseball on this Saturday. Really didn't turn out to be too bad of a day. Between maybe 11 o'clock and then 2 o'clock today, we had that rain and drizzle, but it held off to get this one in as we watch it back here on this Saturday late night.
In the field completely dry now. Looks like umpire Wayne Patterson ready to get this game back underway. A little discussion at the plate, checking the baseball, and Phillips steps in now.
0-1. Chad Phillips, 7-6 Reitz, threatening here in the bottom half of the 5th inning. Asking for time, that time was Phillips. He'll step back in. Bossy Field here Saturday late night here at Channel 19. Owensboro Catholic and Evansville Reitz. Here's the 0-1 pitch. This one taken between center and right field. 2 coming on, 1 charging. They're going to give that one to Brian Vallata in right field. I've seen so many collisions over the years at this ballpark, but Vallata calling off East to get a big second out now for Catholic.
Good communication that time, and I believe that Vallata, the right fielder Brian, had a little better look at that ball. Coming in at that different angle, he didn't have to battle the sun as much as East would have had he called for it and made the catch. So, and plus he's running toward the base runner, who on a tag would be advancing to third, and the throw would be going with the momentum had that happen. So good communications out there between outfielders.
Dickens lost it but got it right back. This has been something for Austin Maxheimer here in his 97-98 year. I believe we saw Austin Maxheimer's first reception on the varsity football team against New Albany. I really believe that. I think we did, going back to the fall, and we saw his first varsity base hit of the season earlier tonight. So Austin Maxheimer takes a look at the 1-0 now, down low to the outside. 2-0 here to Maxheimer.
He'll definitely want us back. Perhaps he'll get his first home run on our next Reitz coverage.
Austin Maxheimer returns for Bob Gaddis this fall. Should be another competitive year for both these two in football. Here's 2-0. Got some football players on both sides tonight. Of course, legendary head coach Mojo Hollowell in Owensboro Catholic took him to the championship, state championship in Kentucky last December. And Reitz has certainly had their share of a great football tradition. Mythical state champions, and have just always seem to put out a good product year after year. Both these schools love their football. It's 3-1. Coming back, Rowan on the last. Here to Austin Maxheimer. Down at second, that is Hudson, who is a pinch runner for Velker. Here's the 3-1 out of play, and Rowan again has to count full. 3 balls and 2 strikes with 2 down in the bottom half of this 5th inning.
Well placed by Roan. The catcher Dickens over the outside corner. Roan placed it right out there. Maxheimer had to reach a little bit, but a well-placed pitch. He fights it off, and the count goes full.
Both again teams return to action early in the week. Reitz and North on Monday night, and then Owensboro Catholic and Owensboro Senior on Tuesday.
Brian Vallata in right field, Brandon East in center, both playing in on Maxheimer. Ricky Vallata in left, about straightaway depth.
3-2, he's between left and center field. That's trouble, and going back is Ricky Vallata. That's going to score the 8th for Reitz. And a RBI double, another one for Reitz tonight, and Austin Maxheimer has his second double of the season and of the night. It is 8-6 Reitz.
For Maxheimer, his second RBI on the season, and 2 doubles tonight.
So Hudson scores, and here's Sam Schmitz trying to add now to the 2-run lead. 22nd hit of the night, and that is our 5th double of the night.
Well, we say his second RBI. You know, we really forgot we didn't know his numbers in the Memorial game. But 2 doubles here against Owensboro Catholic and 1 RBI.
Nothing in 1. No, Maxheimer first action of the day. Did not see action earlier.
That makes that one easy.
1 ball to 1 strike here to Sam Schmitz. That is Maxheimer down at second base. 8-6 Reitz. They're trying for a pretty big day. Here's the 1-1 by Adam Roan, who came in for Jeremy Coombs earlier tonight. Now the count 2-1 here to Schmitz. John Harp On deck here for the Panthers.
Roan wanted to get ahead in the count on that pitch. He just missed up and away. And he knew it. Tried to lean it back down and in a little bit more.
2-1. That's high and inside. 3-1 again here by Roan. He's done a good job, though, of battling himself back out of these situations. A couple of times tonight he was 3-0 to battle back the count full. That one misses and makes it 3-1, and Dickens is out to talk to his pitcher.
Well, Schmitz will get one here, as Roan needs to come to the plate and get back in this count. 2 outs with an insurance runner in scoring position. The Panthers with a 2-run lead. And the hot Sam Schmitz at the plate. 2 for 2 tonight with a couple of doubles. A ribby, and he scored twice.
3-1. Sam Schmitz. Sam Schmitz here again in his junior year. First year on the varsity for 13-year head coach Steve Johnston. Took over for Dan Williams in 1985. Here's 3-1. That one's going to be fouled off. A couple of close ones here to our third base side tonight. That's still about 2.5 feet, though, foul the third base bag. And it's 3 balls and 2 strikes again, and Roan has had this situation quite a few times tonight.
Schmitz just a little out ahead of that one. Well hit foul, as Andrew Barr over there had to go to his right. Schmitz now for the payoff.
3 balls and 2 strikes, 2 away here. Bottom half of the 5th inning, 2 already in for the Panthers, and that didn't miss by a lot. And down low, though, towards the inside. And it's first and second here for the Panthers.
First pass issued by Adam Roan.
Just a second walk given up by anybody tonight. Forrest had one earlier. So first and second, and it's John Harp and Johnston here talking to Harp. Runners at first and second. Feel maybe the 2 runs, that lead may not be enough, and see what Owensboro Catholic can do. Catholic picked up 4 runs in a very productive 5th inning. That's 4 of their 6, 4th inning. 4 of their 6. Reitz picks up 5 in the bottom half of the 3rd. The first here to Harp, and he takes that one into left field. Should pick up the RBI. Coming on home. This is a 9-6 game. First and second for the Panthers. Harp gets a base hit. Picks up an RBI. Max Heimer's in. It's 9-6 Reitz.
Well, another first in this game. John Harp's first base hit, first RBI.
And we're back on top with J.T. Bagby. So runs have been scored in spurts tonight a couple of times. Mentioned 5 for the Panthers in the bottom of the 3rd. That's their 3rd here in the bottom half of the 5th. Catholic again's big inning was the top of the 4th, and they brought across 4. Hits now almost even. 23 now in the game. 12 for Catholic and 11 now for Reitz. 2 down in the bottom half of the 5th inning. J.T. Bagby is 2 for 3 tonight. Fouls that one back and out of play.
Near the area of the old press box. I think we could have had that one with Arnett. I do kind of miss it. Bossy Field, facility-wise, you can't beat this press box. They have really done it up right up here.
9-6 Panthers, bottom of the 5th, scheduled to go 7. First and second for Reitz. And Roan gives up a one-hopper to Brian Villada in right field. And for the first time tonight, the Panthers have the bases loaded. Nice throw by Brian Villada in right field. We talked about his offensive power. He's not a bad fielder. Took it on one hop, got that one in a hurry. So they're loaded with Panthers.
That saved a run. A lot of speed in this Catholic outfield. They pride themselves in their ability to run down just about any fly ball. A lot of speed, good communication out there. But the Panthers just placing the ball very effectively at Bossy Field tonight.
I'm going to get a look at Brian Hochschild. I'm going to get a look at a new batter and a new pitcher on the hill for Owensboro Catholic. Hochschild today. He played in the Memorial game, Hochschild did. Was over 3, but he did draw a walk. Came into today 222 with a RBI. Hochschild, the senior, saw limited varsity action last season. Actually, I think he saw action in one game a season ago. Get our first look at Hochschild here in 98 here on Channel 19. And the new pitcher for Owensboro Catholic into the game. Actually, it looks like Jeremy Coombs right back in there. Yep. Jeremy Coombs returns. It's not the first time I've seen that done today, Pete. Matter of fact, in the first game we had Ryan Fetcher leave for a short time, and he came right back into the game. So Jeremy Coombs, with a little rest, comes right back at you. He'll actually still face Hochschild, though, the new batter, for the first time.
I think that's Adam Hancock, Darren. I think that's number 9. The number bleed together on the back of the jerseys there, and it's hard to really determine the break in there, but I believe that that's number 9 rather than number 8. But I don't think I'm going to bet you on that, but hopefully he'll turn around for us so we can get a good look.
How good are the eyes? Diggins out to talk to his pitcher.
Yeah, these eyes are courtesy of Bushnell. Binoculars. But, that is a number 9 on the back there. So we get a look at another sophomore, Adam Hancock, as he digs in on the mound. Hey, you were 1 for 2 on that one.
I was 1 for 2?
You had Brian Hochschild at the plate.
Yeah, that's right, I was. When you bat 500 your first time out, that's not bad. 2 down here in the 5th. Hochschild going to take that one right to. And Jacob Reed at shortstop. Guns him down over at first. Reitz does some damage. They pick up 3 more. They have the lead back. It is 9-6. Hits even now at 12 apiece. 24 hits in 5 innings played. 9-6 Reitz. High school baseball Saturday night from Bosse Field in Evansville continues right here on Channel 19.
Welcome to Batteries Plus. How may we help you?
Do you really have thousands of batteries for thousands of items?
Yes, sir.
How about watches?
Yes, sir.
Cameras? Camcorders?
Yes, sir.
Laptops and computers?
Yes, sir.
Portable stereos? Cellular phones?
Yes, sir.
I know you've got car batteries and great service, too.
Yes. If it runs on batteries, we'll keep it running at Batteries Plus, America's battery stores.
While some networks go out of their way to show you when animals attack, UPN is going to great lengths to show our viewers something even more controversial.
Are you ready?
Monday on UPN, see how animals use their jaws, paws, and claws to save lives.
That's right, save lives.
If it weren't for this dog, I wouldn't be alive.
He takes care of me. He's my C&I horse. I trust him.
America's Greatest Pets. Amazing but true.
Monday at 8 on WWAZ Channel 19.
Top half of the 6th inning on high school baseball Saturday night. I'm Darren Smith alongside Pete Hillenbrand. Top of the order for Owensboro Catholic. Scheduled batter Nick Williams, Ricky Vallada, and Nick McCrary. 1-2-3 here for Catholic. It is 9-6 Reitz.
Sam Forrest comes back to the mound for the Reitz Panthers. He came in the 5th. Last inning, relieved Kyle Ritter after Brian Vallada led off with a base hit. And Forrest came in and took care of business, so he stays on the hill for the Panthers here in the 6th inning.
2-1 game a season ago between these two. 9-6. 1 year later, Owensboro Catholic and Evansville Reitz. Yeah, Reitz a 4A team in the class system of baseball. We could talk all night of why I do not like that, but did like class basketball and absolutely do not like class baseball. I talked to Coach Johnston earlier tonight, and he said he had mixed feelings, I think. I go either way on it. You're still going to see great baseball, of course, but I can understand it in football. Don't like it in basketball. Certainly do not like it here in baseball. Class baseball in the state of Indiana. Kentucky still doing it right. They didn't have one class in both basketball and baseball. I think that's the way it definitely should be.
Are you going to turn my mic off now or wait till I get on a roll and get the gloves out? I like it. I like the class system, and I really feel like it's the traditionalists that sit in their offices and say we need one single class. I think really you benefit all the high schools and all the kids by having a class system, and you know, this Samson and Goliath fairy tale, David and Goliath fairy tale that happens maybe once every, you know,
50 years.
Yeah, you know, so some sportscaster somewhere can have fun on the air.
How about, what about 4 classes? Is that too many? I'm again, you're not going to talk me into class baseball or basketball, but how about a couple of classes instead of 4? You like the 4? How about let's have 10 classes? Let's have a class for teams that have never won. We can call it our maiden class. Down to third, Austin Maxheimer covering. Williams with some speed, but in time. Nice throw by Austin Maxheimer. Class baseball or not. That's a great play, 5-3. And there's one away here in the top half of the 6th inning.
That was a beauty of the play by Austin Maxheimer. I'm glad we were able to settle down a little bit in time to give him credit for that. He's been tested all night, and really there's no margin for error when you're facing a speedy team. And Nick Williams getting down the line in a hurry, and a flawless defensive effort by Austin Maxheimer gets him in time.
Ricky Villada tonight stole a base, has a single, reached back in the 4th, went down 6-3 in the 30s, 2 for 3 tonight. 1-0 here, Sam Forrest to Ricky Villada. Nick McCrary is on deck. Nice comeback by Forrest, and it's 1-1. I want to thank our producers tonight, Greg Grodius, Bob McDonald. Back at Master Control, William Lansdale and Pat Moore. Darren Smith with Pete Hillenbrand here at Bosse Field in Evansville for high school basketball Saturday night. Evansville Reitz, Owensboro Catholic. We're back out here on May the 4th. Take a look at Owensboro Apollo and Evansville Memorial. 2 balls and a strike to Ricky Villada. And a 9-6 lead for Reitz. Still off the glove there to Forrest. Still plenty of time. And there's 2 away. Field started to move like that was the 3rd, but it's 2 away here in the top half of the 6th inning.
I think that came off the ankle of Adam Forrest. He seems to be moving along okay. Hopefully it did hit the glove, and you were right. I was afraid it got the inside of one of his ankles, but he looks to be all right.
Here's Nick McCrary. With 2 down here in the 6th inning. Nice pitch by Forrest for strike 1. I want to thank both coaches Steve Johnston and certainly Neil Corley. Also Jeff Arnold for helping us with some numbers tonight before game time. These guys are very, very busy. You know, they teach and they coach baseball, and spent some time with us in the past couple of days getting us ready for our first high school baseball broadcast of the season. Oh, just off the chest protectors, Sam Schmitz.
It's a tough job. It can be a very rewarding job, can be a very frustrating job, but those guys are having fun with it this year. They really like the team that they have at Owensboro Catholic, and said it's a great bunch of guys, and they enjoy playing. They would play all day if they could, and boy, these Panthers just about have. And you know, they've displayed the attitude of they like it too. You know, they'll play as long as they can. They're looking at 5.5 hours of baseball today, and really enjoying it, and leading this one now. They've had some 5 hours of good baseball today.
Walk given up this game now right around the 2-hour mark. Owensboro Catholic, Evansville Reitz, and this is Brandon East. And got the corner right away, Sam Forrest. Never an easy out, Brandon East. Just a couple of RBI tonight. 0-1 here to East. Curry with a walk over at first.
Forrest has a nice look over to first base when he goes to the plate. That freezes the runner a little bit. They have stolen a couple of bases on him tonight, but boy, that time he really froze up McCrary.
Runner goes, hit runner was on, yeah. That's going to be out of play. So 1 ball and 2 strikes here in the top of the 6th inning, and we're scheduled to go 7 tonight.
And that could be in jeopardy the way these 2 teams are going back and forth. We might be here for a while. Got a late start. Why not have a late finish, huh? What a ball game it's playing out to be.
Missing towards the outside. 2 balls and 2 strikes now here to Brandon East. Adam Campbell is on deck. There's that move back to first you talked about.
He's got a look that just freezes him, and even though he went to the bag that time, McCrary kind of got stuck in his tracks a little bit. Seconds worth of hesitation, but Nick able to get back in time.
2-2 by Forrest. Runner goes again. Going to pull over. Adam Baylor at shortstop. Chance to get him down on a one-hopper. That is in time. 4 batters facing Forrest. 3 down here in the top half of the 6th inning. It is 9-6 in favor of Reitz. We move to the bottom half of on high school baseball. Saturday nights, WWAZ, Channel 19.
On the next Highlander,
We have some unfinished business.
when a watcher in peril becomes human bait,
I have someone you want. You have someone I want.
will Joe betray his oath
I'm an immortal, you're a watcher, but we're in league together? Sounds a lot like interference to me.
and lead Mythos
This is a trap, man. This is between me and him.
to an immortal's doom? On the next Highlander.
Wednesday at 9 on WWAZ Channel 19.
While some networks go out of their way to show you when animals attack, UPN is going to great lengths to show us something even more controversial.
Are you ready?
Monday on UPN, see how animals use their jaws, paws, and claws to save lives.
That's right, save lives.
If it weren't for this dog, I wouldn't be alive.
He takes care of me. He's my CNI horse. I trust him.
America's Greatest Pets. Amazing but true.
Monday at 8 on WWAZ Channel 19.
Welcome back to Bossy Field here late night. I'm Darren Smith alongside Pete Hillenbrand. 9-6 in favor of Reitz. Scoring recap. Owensboro Catholic tonight picked up a run back in the first inning. 4 in the 4th, 1 in the 5th. Reitz tonight going scoreless their first 2 at-bats tonight. Picked up 5 in the 3rd. Picked up a lone run back in the 4th inning and 3 their last time here in the bottom half of the 5th. Bottom of the 6th now at 9-6 Reitz. And we're back again with Ryan Fetcher.
Well, Coach Johnston told us earlier that he's been pleasantly surprised by his young pitching staff.
Home run last time for Fetcher, and that is given a ride as well as that backs up against the wall. That didn't miss by much. About 360 away goes Fetcher, and what a pretty good day for Ryan Fetcher. 2 for 5 in the early game. He is 3 for 4 here tonight. That includes 2 doubles and a home run on this night.
How about that? How about that? A big day for Ryan. And getting back to my point about Coach Johnston being pleasantly surprised with his pitching staff. You know, he came in with a lot of youngsters, underclassmen, guys that hadn't had previous varsity experience, and they've been coming through for him. How about Austin Maxheimer, Sam Schmitz, and John Harp combined 16 at-bats, all 3 coming in hitless tonight. The 3 of those are responsible for 4 doubles, 3 RBIs, and 4 runs. The 3 of them have scored the total of 4 times in addition to the 3 RBIs that they've totaled. So what a nice day for Coach Johnston. He's got to be very pleased.
This is Michael Hudson. I got this for his 2nd at-bat this year, 2nd official at-bat for the junior. No varsity numbers last year in his sophomore campaign. Michael Hudson. Pinch runner for Belker, and they keep him in there. So our first offensive look tonight at Michael Hudson. That is Fetcher down at second base. 9-6. Reitz. This is a game so far that has seen 25 hits in the bottom half of the 6th inning. One ball, 1 strike here to Michael Hudson. Baylor due up next. The 1-1. Gonna go down low, but get there anyway. And 1-2. That was close. Some of the Reitz fans did not agree. It's really the first bit of noise I've heard from either side tonight. Umpires must be doing their job because it's been very uncontroversial so far. Go through 6 innings and try to find that someplace else.
It doesn't happen very often, especially in baseball.
1-2, fouls it back.
I like the
count,
call,
1 ball and
though.
2 strikes.
I thought it was a good call. And we're right on top of it. So.
1-2. Hancock, third pitcher used for Catholic tonight. Their first offensive look here at Michael Hudson. Nobody down here. Bottom half of the 6th inning. And here's the 1-2 pitch, and he got him. Hancock gets his first K of the night. Down goes Hudson. It brings up Adam Bader with one down in the bottom half of the 6th inning.
Another look at Adam Baylor, and I believe Baylor's first look at Hancock. But Baylor looking to get in on the fun. Looking for a hit here in this game tonight.
And Baylor 0 for 3 tonight.
That one just missed outside.
Fielder's choice in the error back in the 3rd when he reached. Struck out back in the 2nd inning, 6-3 back an inning ago. 1 ball, no strikes to Adam Baylor. Chad Phillips is on deck for Reitz. That one found the mark. Hancock. A little bit of we've seen of Hancock tonight. Not really any bad pitches from him. I mean, they're missing. They're not missing by a whole bunch.
He is right around the strike zone if he's not in it.
1 ball, 1 strike. That's down low in the dirt. 2-1.
Good dig again by Dickens. He's been tested quite a bit tonight.
2 balls and a strike. Owensboro Catholic trying to go to 6-5. They'll have their work cut out for them. They'll be down to their final 3 outs after Reitz is done here in the bottom of the 6th inning. 2-2. Hancock comes back here on Baylor. That's Fetcher down at second base for Reitz. What a great night for him. 2 doubles and a home run. That's just in the nightcap. He was 2 for 5 in the Memorial game. Here's a 2-2 by Hancock, and that's going to go foul, and we're going to do it again.
I think he'll take that. Don't you?
Yep.
Not a bad day at the office.
Talked about some Reitz players trying to prove themselves. They lost Cook and Forrest and Babb and Wolf, to mention a couple from last year's team. Owensboro Catholic exactly the opposite. They lost one good player in Mitchell Sims, their second baseman last year. He's now playing at St. Catherine's over outside of Lexington, Kentucky. 2-2 into right center field. 2 backing up. That's going to get in there, and that's going to score Fetcher.
That's liable to go for a triple.
Adam Baylor will be looking for the first triple of the year for Reitz. All the way back to the wall and all the way to 3rd. Reitz's first triple of the year belongs to Adam Baylor. RBI triple. It is 10-6 Reitz.
The Panthers just keep the heat on. Really, this is just a very well-played game by these Reitz Panthers. They're just doing it all right, just hitting the ball and finding the holes, and they've ripped apart a very speedy outfield tonight. That's a tall order. I mean, it's tough to get a legitimate hit against 3 fast outfielders, and they've come through time and time again. Happy days on the hill of the west side, but still 3 outs to go, and we've seen a lot of offense from the guys in green as well.
10-6. 26 hits in the game. 4 errors. Where it counts. 10-6 Reitz. 90 feet away is Adam Baylor. Phillips into a double play tonight. Struck out, then out to right field, and Brian Vallada. Already seen his arm tonight. Vallada's not bad. Phillips, a center fielder this year for the Panthers. You've seen for the last couple of seasons anyway. Andy Babb. 1 ball, 1 strike. Chad Phillips, Austin Maxheimer, the on-deck batter with 1 down.
They're coming into that part of the lineup that's been very dangerous, and they'll face it.
Right up the middle, 11-6. Reitz adds a little insurance. And that's going to bring up Austin Maxheimer. So Chad Phillips, after going 0 for 3, gets on a first time tonight, picks up the RBI. And here is Austin Maxheimer, who's had a pretty good night in his own.
Boy, everybody's figured into this one now, Darren. Adam Baylor had avenged an 0-for-3 evening with an RBI triple. Chad Phillips avenged an 0-for-3 evening with an RBI single. And now Austin Maxheimer, who's 2-for-3 with an RBI and has scored twice, has an opportunity to continue this late game rally.
This one going to try to loop this one in. That's a Texas leaker, barely just over the head of Adam Campbell. So first and second that way. And Reitz keeps the inning going. The bottom half of the sixth inning where there's still just one away. Maybe not done yet. 11-6 Panthers, first and second.
And coming right back at you is Sam Schmitz, the catcher. He's been on base all 3 times. 2 doubles, 1 RBI. He's scored twice. He's walked once, so he's been on base all 3 times. But you do bring that run to the plate with only 1 out, and the Panthers are rallying, and that is leadoff hitter J.T. Bagby.
Bagby takes a look at strike 1 here from Hancock.
And Bagby's 3-for-4 tonight with a couple of ribbies, and he's scored once. But boy, Sam Schmitz is a 3-for-3 with a walk. And did he double his last? He just singled his last time up.
Try to loop that one in, and the base is going to be loaded with Panthers. And so the knockout rule, the 10th or the 16th run now on the bases, and that's going to bring up.
When you're living right, what does the other guy do? I tell you what, these Panthers have played textbook baseball today. Just
it's going to bring up Brian Hochschild. I'll talk to Hancock for the moment. 13-6. Reitz out hitting Catholic right now, 19-12. There's 4 errors on the board. Reitz has 3 of those. So they'll stay with Hancock for now. Earlier, that's a tough read. That 9 does look like an 8 and vice versa, doesn't it, in the back of the jersey?
That is, it just comes together so close. I'm sure our viewers have had a shot at it, and probably on camera it's very distinct.
Yeah, right.
you know how that goes. What are those guys, crazy?
Bases loaded here for the Panthers. This is Brian Hochschild. Kind of a check swing fouled for strike 1. Right now, Catholic trying to get to the top half of the 7th inning. Adam Campbell, Brian Villada, Chad Dickens will begin the last chance for the Aces that they can stop. Reitz right here. Reitz with 5 runs back in the 3rd. Had 3 runs an inning ago. There's 4 right here.
Brian Hochschild came on in the 5th, batting for Nick Helfrich. Grounded out to the shortstop, Reed.
0-1 is into center field. Brandon East going to back up. It's going to bring home the 14 for the Panthers as all the runners tag. Play here is over at 3rd base. Everybody's okay, and it's 14-6. And the winning run is down in scoring position. And again, I bring it up because of the 10-run rule, which Pete and I were talking earlier, did not think we'd see tonight, but Reitz in spurts, an earlier game tonight this morning against Evansville Memorial, and put together some big innings here in the nightcap. We are back with Fetcher, and they're going to put him aboard. Don't blame him.
Not at all. I think it's really just coincidence that it happens to be Fetcher, you know, with well, no, there are 2 outs, so
yeah.
So it was all Fetcher is why they walked. I looked to load the bases to, you know, set up the force out.
And the run doesn't mean anything either.
But you have 2 outs though, and yeah, he doesn't mean anything, and he's the hot guy tonight. But,
so if 2nd and 3rd score, that's the game with the 10-run rule. So that's an excellent play. And the way Fetcher's hit, not just tonight but today.
So the Panthers are 1 hole away. Finding 1 more hole in a very tough defense will end it early.
Michael Hudson, 14-6, huh? 20 runs combined.
28 on the day for the Panthers, huh?
30,
How about that?
Yeah, 31 hits in this game. Yeah, 14 runs earlier. in the morning game against Memorial. Here's 1-0 here to Hudson. Takes this one down to Nick Williams, trying for the force down at second, and that is in time. Catholic lives to the top half of the seventh. They'll go. It's the last call for the Aces. Top of the seventh. And go there next on WWAZ.
On the next Highlander,
We have some unfinished business.
when a watcher in peril becomes human bait,
I have someone you want. You have someone I want.
will Joe betray his oath
I'm an immortal, you're a watcher, but we're in league together? Sounds a lot like interference to me.
and lead Mythos
This is a trap, man. This is between me and him.
to an immortal's doom? On the next Highlander.
Wednesday at 9 on WWAZ Channel 19.
While some networks go out of their way to show you when animals attack, UPN is going to great lengths to show our viewers something even more controversial.
Monday on UPN, see how animals use their jaws, paws, and claws to save lives.
That's right, save lives.
If it weren't for this dog, I wouldn't be alive.
He takes care of me. He's my C&I horse. I trust him.
America's Greatest Pets. Amazing but true.
Monday at 8 on WWAZ Channel 19.
Changes.
Welcome back to Bossy Field, and Saturday late night, huh? And it's 14-6 in favor of Reitz. Last call for Owensboro Catholic. That's 14-6 Reitz. Pete?
Boy, how about it, Darren? 14 runs on 19 hits. So the Panthers didn't waste many opportunities. They've left the bases loaded twice, but even with that, they've only left 8 on the ball game. So Reitz really just doing it right. 14 runs on 19 hits is really taking every opportunity.
Some of these players going to get a chance to see themselves for the first time tonight, and waited up for this hour perhaps. Here's Mike Dunn. First appearance tonight for the sophomore. Mike Dunn. So, first look I have at Mike Dunn this year. And the first to the outside for ball one. Sam Forrest remains on the hill here for the Panthers. 14-6. Top half of the seventh. The last call here for Owensboro Catholic. And 1 ball and 1 strike. Big win last night over Muhlenberg North. They beat the Stars 4-3 in the bottom of the 7th inning. Need some more magic here. And then some in the top half of the 7th. 1-1. Forrest has been working quickly all night. It's going to miss down low for ball 2. to 6 Reitz. And on the inside here to Mike Dunn, ball 3.
Forrest will be looking for the save here. I believe the win will be credited to Ritter.
Yeah, they had the lead when he came in.
And Forrest coming in the 5th and getting his first look at Mike Dunn.
Be the first win of the year for Ritter. He previously had 2 saves. If this holds up, 3-2. High. Bagby under the grass. Catholic down to their final 2 outs. And that is going to bring up Josh Foster. Our first look at Foster tonight. Josh Foster is a sophomore. 5'10", goes about 160. We'll see some time in the outfield this year. Josh Foster.
His first varsity at bat here. And he's looking at Sam Forrest, who has definitely